with the stakeholders. Okay. So we could have gotten that out.
Where all the stakeholders were being invited to the first council. And the MPA came, they explained their position, why they have to increase the tariff, which is 25%. And the MPA man, I was in the meeting, I covered it. He said when he get to his boss in the office, they're going to discuss it with the boss, where a meeting will be held with the chief executive order or the maritime agencies. That was what the man said, the representative of the MPA.
Okay, so that's what I'm asking. What could we have done differently with the benefit of hindsight? Yes.
Like this issue, the MPA, by the time they want to sell most of the same house, they already use innovative, and from when they are selling this, why they want to increase the tariff. And secondly, they've already used some certain examples that these are the things they've already used learning process from other agencies. Why did they increase their own? And they've already built all these things into their claims where this thing must be increased. And because Shippers Council, let me just be neutral here. Because Shippers Council wants to be able to say, you can't do this one to my people. You can't do this one to my people. But when you look at why NPA want to do some certain things, and you know that it is on the right proportion that they want to do it. Because I want to use two things, because two tariffs came out at the same time. That is the NPA tariff and custom tariff. But immediately they go against it, because both of them said it has never been increased for longer period. But the customs own has been it's just like a new one that was want to introduce give to the public. But the NPA have already used some certain innovative, they've already used a learning process before they can be able to say, okay, this is why I want to do this thing. Then we now look at it and now say, okay, if this thing is justifiable, so people are against it, which side are we going to do? It looks like a crisis.
It is a crisis. So the question you should ask yourself, you see, there are a number of things I want us to look at here. Number one is, what is your role in this entire space?
The role is to protect me.
Yes, that's what the law says you should do. Exactly. And so the next question is, to your stakeholders, the people you are playing to, the people you are serving, how do they perceive you? There are two things here. And so your role in this department is essentially to ensure that there is an alignment between your core function, your core mandate, and the perception. That is what gives you your identity or builds your brand. So that is our interest, and that's why no matter what happens within the NSC, Nigerian Shippers Council, when you are part of those conversations, your voice must be strong enough in making it very clear, because most times you get this misalignment. Things get done, eventually, it's almost like saying that, well, majority will have their way, minority will have their say, that kind of stuff. But the ramifications is where I'm going to in all of this. We can't stop MPA if tomorrow they decide they want to increase or they want to take any other decision that has economic implications. It might not be rate increase. It's true, they are the landlords. You are regulating within their space. That's the truth. You are regulating within their space. You're trying to, because the work that you're doing is bringing sanity into that space where there is always chaos, potentially chaos, all sorts of chaos, whether it's tariffs or what's it called now, damage to goods or services, delays, all of the typical problems that go with the business of logistics and shipping. That economic context is very volatile, just like life is volatile at sea when it comes to maritime safety and security. You are the referee there. are the referee there. And so, making sure that the perception of you to the stakeholders that matter the most is in alignment, that you are an unbiased umpire. How many of us are football fans here? How many of us watch football here? I don't know if you are. Okay, let's say Arsenal is playing Liverpool, two bitter rivals. You switch on your television, you see both teams. Who is the most important person? Who will be the most important person on that field? It's the referee. You'll be saying that this referee, this same referee, if it's someone that has built, that you have a bad reputation for, that you always lose whenever he referees, you'll be saying, this man again, this man again. And controversy. So the audience, the fans, keep one reputation. And invariably it sticks. Because that opinion spreads, despite the fact that the man may have tried to be as unbiased as possible. That's where we are going to with this. Is to let you know that silence is also dangerous. Silence is also dangerous. Engage where necessary. Some things will happen. I'm going to come to you, sir. Some things will happen that you cannot control. We must accept that. We are communicators. That's why we have to be strategic. That is the value of strategy. That we don't have control over certain things that will happen, but we have control as to how we can respond to it and manage how it is perceived. So it's to ask ourselves and go back to the drawing board and say, what if another situation like this will likely present itself anytime soon? It might not be from NPA. It could come from NIMASA, another sister government agency.
Yeah. Yes,
Or it could come from even your ministry.
Yes, or terminal operators.
Or even from the House Committee on Marine. Even from truckers. So you see what we're talking about here. So sitting down, maybe doing your meetings every Monday, whether in Lagos, Abuja, these are the kinds of things you must say, okay, so what if somebody, all it takes is for a legislator to get up and just say, I want to move a motion on an issue of urgent national importance. Nigeria Shippers Council, and they just start talking, and then when you watch Channels News at night, you see yourself there, free of charge. You are wondering, when did this happen? Do you have a strategy for those kinds of scenarios? So you must develop a playbook, and I'm encouraging these units to adopt the playbook development strategy that carries a variety of scenarios. What it will do is that it will expand the thinking and the mindset of everyone on this team. Because you are fighting a battle where you have all kinds of actors who in a bid to protect their own interests, hamper you from delivering on your mandate, and by extension, potentially gives you a bad name before your major audiences, in this case, the shipper. So this is part of how I want us to look at it. Please, sir, let me come to you. You wanted to...
Sir, is it not possible for the Shippers Council to tell all the stakeholders before any agency increases their tariff? It's supposed to come to Shippers Council before doing that. In the situation whereby they do not do that and then they increase the tariff, can Shippers Council tell the freight forwarders not to comply until the Shippers Council to tell them so far they are the regulator?
You see, that's a management decision. That's not your headache. Do you get the point I'm making in all of this? That's why I'm saying to you, you are in communications. A lot of the things you are called to manage are things that are beyond your level. In fact, there are things that you did not cause, but they have ramifications in terms of the image and in terms of perception. You don't know, there are some of the decisions might be internally made decisions. There are sometimes that decisions are made internally that are not necessarily, don't play out. They have what you call unforeseen outcomes that affect the image of the organization. Now, you don't have control over those calls. So don't bother yourself with that. What you want to do is that, okay, fallouts. Can we anticipate fallouts? Because I can tell you, even if as management, Shippers Council were to put those measures in place, there are always bad actors in every space. I need us to understand this if we are going to be effective managers of image and effective communicators. There are always bad actors in every ecosystem. No matter how well structured, how well organized it is, even when there are ramifications, consequences, and penalties, there are always bad actors. They seek to shortchange that system, to stress test that system through various ways that some of us have not even imagined. So when these bad actors strike, the problem is there are usually fallouts. And those fallouts have reputational consequences. They have potential impact on our brand, on our names, on us as an institution. Some of these fallouts can end up making us look irresponsible, as if we don't know what we are doing.
More like weak.
Or weak. I'm sure sometimes you hear your stakeholders as a reference say that I don't even know what Shippers Council is doing. Question is, communication strategy must be a lot more proactive. A lot more proactive. You must think of all these scenarios. You will never get them 100%, but the more you think about them, the more elastic this unit will become. And so when tension, pressure comes, you know the concept of elasticity, it may stretch you, but you'll be resilient enough to rise to the occasion. So it goes back to the first point that I started out with, that the paradigm, our own paradigm must shift. If we are expecting NPA to do at least be a good sport, be a team player, NPA is in the business of NPA. You get the point I'm making? The same way all other actors, the same way you should be in the business of Shippers Council. Protect the shipper. That is your goal. That is your mandate. So that, ask yourself, do you have, in terms of image perception, if you were to be like a superhero with a cape, would they put Nigeria Shippers Council protector of shippers? Do you have that level of image perception in your sector? Do you have that level of image perception? But that is supposed to be your brand. Protector of the shipper as a port economy regulator. You do that. The functional side is port economy regulation. But the perceptional side should be, I use the word should be, protector of the shipper, and by extension, protector of the Nigerian economy. That's your brand destination. That's your brand destination. But the question is, what is your current brand situation? Your brand destination is that you are the rescuer. It should be a case of Shippers Council to the rescue. Nigeria Shippers Council to the rescue. That's your brand destination. So there are two things we are looking at here. But your brand situation, we see that there is a gap. And we must constantly be working with this mindset. Are we protecting the shipper? Whatever happens, whatever comes out of this meeting with all of these people, whatever comes out of this, when the smoke clears after this tariff increase or whatever MP has done, will Shippers Council still be seen after all of it as they did everything to protect the shipper? And we saw it. And that's one more feather in Shippers Council heart into becoming that brand. That's why I said silence is dangerous. Because when you're silent, a feather is taken off your cap. When you're silent, in fact, in communications context, silence is often interpreted as complicity. I'm telling you, perception-wise, Should they did this to us? You people did not say anything. What is that saying? What is that telling you? That they are part of it. So you must fight for your reputation intentionally. And that's another point I want to make. Intentionality is very crucial in all of this. Regardless, yes, your sister agencies, fine. Working for the same government, that's true. But you have clearly delineated sets of functions. So the goal for you would be in all of these, okay, NPA, this is what you've done. We have a responsibility to ensure that our audience, in this case, the Nigerian Shipper, perceives us as working in their own interest and protecting them. So this is the narrative that we intend to put out there on a consistent basis with ample evidence so that they get the sense that we're doing what we need to do. So that is the PR function. Elevate what your management does through the power of narratives. See, there are ways. Let me quickly give you, I'm going to just give some suggestions to you. There are ways the PR needs to function in an unconventional manner. Sometimes, to ensure that you're building that trust, even in the midst of a lot of difficulties. And thankfully, head of PR is here. These are suggestions. They are not conventional, but they help in some ways. There are some meetings that you can intentionally embed is one or two stakeholders, even though the meetings or the functions were not for them. It's a PR move. It's not a management move. It's talking to management, this, we know this, but you know what? I think it's a good idea. Because one, you then convert some of those stakeholders into your megaphone. To build your brand is not something you're going to do all by yourselves. And it's not by our logos, the various things we print and adverts. And no, it's by organic human interactions, responses, and dealing with situations. Sometimes your story or your position can be better told because there were one or two stakeholders or shippers who were brought into a situation they would ordinarily not have been privileged to be in. But through the power of a strong PR unit, you're able to say, look, please, let's bring in someone, let's have at least one of the freight forwarders attend this meeting with NP or whatever it is you're trying to do. What it does is that it brings collective participation. You're not trying to build the brand all by yourself. The beneficiaries of your function are also playing a part in it. So it's got to be some unconventional thinking would have to come in. Please, sir, you wanted to say something?
No, I wanted to ask you to situate a situation. One, when you know, let's look at a little history about Nigerian Shippers Council. It was started in 1978. UNCTAD said, please, nations, go and start Shippers Council so as I can protect the interests of the shippers. And when it was started, they did their job diligently. Now, it was a military decision. In 2014, during the time with Jonathan, Shippers Council was made the Port Economic Regulator by Executive Board.
Yes.
Now, look at the scenario I want you to look at. There's one they call Stuan, Ship Owners Association.
Yes.
There was an infraction they did. Shippers Council went and said, no, you can't do this without having recourse to us. We dialogue over it. The next thing they did was to go to court, right? And the thing, I think, up to now, it's still in Supreme Court. Just say you don't have that, right? Because you were not here. 2014 executive order is not
it's not a law.
It's not a law. It was
an executive order.
This thing Jonathan did without passing through the parliament. Now, again, I want you to look at the scenario where we are going into now. God willing, in the next few months, the Nigerian Shippers Council, the president will pass the law making the Nigerian Port Economic Regulatory Agency. Now, this thing has passed through the Act of Parliament, approved by the Parliament, sent to the presidency for assent. If the president assents it, now this is the first time ever Shippers Council will have authority to start
to enforce.
If this law is passed, nobody can challenge them in the Supreme Court or any court of law that you are acting on your own, because it has passed through the Act of Parliament. Now, the scenario I want you to see is that, you see, some of the times, the public relations unit, there are some issues that will come up. They will look back where they are coming from, look back at the law established them at any point in time. And that is what happened when Nigeria Ports Authority increased that time.
Yes.
He said
Yes, because
Shippers Council knew that even MPA will go ahead and tell these people you think they are having this, don't have authority. Who get the authority to be port economic regulator without passing through the thing? So these are some of the issues the public, when they want to stand and react, does that that's hindrance. But again, I want you to look at
the
now
scenario.
We are looking at Imperial Bill to be passed in the next 2 weeks. Where do you think the public relations unit will now navigate?
Okay, thank you very much. You raised a very important scenario. I also was aware of that scenario. I'm just being careful. I didn't want to raise it in our conversation because it can be sensitive at times. We know it's really more of an executive tool that Shippers Council has had to rely on. And then this matter, I think the issue is, I think it has come, that particular court case, I think there was a soft pedaling at some point.
Exactly, yes.
Because I think Shippers Council won the case at the, and even at the one at Shippers Council also won at the appeal court as well.
Yes.
So I think at some point there was stop pedaling and all that. So these are some of the nuances that a communications team must manage. So here is what I'm looking at now as we anticipate the future. But then let me also put this out there. Think about it with regard to the strategic question I asked earlier on. What if that law does not get passed? What if?
We're in Nigeria.
I'm asking you. What if? What if? This is how you must think. As strategists and as communicators, that's what strategic communication is about. What if it's not passed? Could it be possible that there are people lobbying for every legislation? There are those lobbying for and against. What happens if you're putting all your eggs in that basket? That is scenario one. I just want your mind to think that way. That's why I threw in that question. That's the only way you stretch yourself and think out of the box, become innovative in doing your jobs differently beyond giving out press releases and responding because something has happened. What playbook do you have for another 4 years of remaining port economic regulator by executive fiat? So you know, that's why I mentioned earlier on that you know that the players in your ecosystem are big fishes. They know their onions. They can create pain. They have the means to play in the press, to use the media, and whatever it is, to cause you a world of pain. So how prepared is the PR unit to engage, to be a step ahead? You must know your problem customers in this ecosystem. From terminal operators to freight forwarders, who are you must have a list for them that this party was there. Potential, don't be surprised if something is in the media in 3 days' time. So you beat them to it by leading a conversation on tariffs. You see, when you lead a conversation on tariffs, if the intention was tariff-centric, what it does is that you are setting the agenda. But if you then wait, they strike, we all start running helter-skelter. Isn't that what we do? We start running helter-skelter. So I'm just saying that in response to your question, I'm not going to give like a very direct answer to say do this or that. But I'm going to come back to challenging the thinking. When you have the thinking, you will give yourself options. If the law is passed, it strengthens you. But again, the law could be passed and execution, which is not your responsibility. Remember, you don't have any managerial execution function here. You're dealing with communication. If the management does not execute things in a manner that strengthens you, how do you handle it? Communication-wise. We are managers of outcomes here. Let's be clear. That's why, with reference to his question, what can Shepherds Council do? I said, no, let's bring our minds too. Our problems can be created from within, in as much as most of them are coming from without. That's the truth about it. So we have to stand ready to manage the reputational side, the communication side, and part of it is being proactive about it. So part of being proactive is not to overhype the issue. In case, what if it doesn't get passed? How does it leave us? Where does it leave us? So we are not driving at the political side of getting the law passed, but we should remain focused on what should be the function. Look, Ghana has a Shepherds Council, and it's functioning quite well.
And it was modeled
No,
from Nigerian
absolutely.
Council.
So clearly we are behind the curve. So my point to you is to continue to drive the kind of narratives that puts you in that role, with or pending the arrival of the law. There are times when people do things and the perception is higher. I'll give you a typical example. There are people that come into the organization, they work so hard, they put in their best, they do so well, they become so well known, and then you ask, in the minds of people, it's as if they've been there for 5 years, whereas they've only spent 1 year. Can you see that the perception is way higher? That's their brand perception is way higher than the actual fact on ground. So I'm saying that you have to drive the narratives. What are all those your wins in the areas of successful arbitration and resolution of port economic matters must be front and center. So I'll give you an instance. I went on your Instagram page. I was there 1 a.m. this morning. I just curiosity. So let me go to Shepherds Council. Let me just check. Because the world, so much is going on. And I checked from beginning to the end. I did not see a port economic regulatory, your port economic regulatory victories. And I'm sure there's a lot you have done. I did not see. What I saw, and I'm saying this as one who has worked in the same space, and looking back at the lessons, because they say hindsight is 20/20. That there are things, adjustments we can begin to make. Yes, because it's a government space, first order of business has to be that we project the set man, the chief executive, give him airtime, give him prominence and all that, because the standard perception or reasoning in the political ecosystem is that if he's seen or she's seen, work is going on. Create that bandwidth, designate it, and take that box. But the crux of the function of the media team, the communication arm of the agency, is to drive the narrative based on the mandate it was set up and hand the value outcome, because that is what builds the reputation of Shepherds Council. So I checked, I was just checking, I thought I was going to see some freight forwarders, not just in interactive sessions, real narrative. You need to convert those wins into narratives that people can understand and relate with. I watched the last episode of the program Shippers. I saw that you had a segment for complaints. What's it called that you resolve? That segment lasted for just 35 seconds. There are things we can begin to do. Show faces, show scenarios, make it more real so that the concept and the value of a port economic regulator in terms of the outcome, how it transmits or translates into economic benefits. Those are the real narratives that stick. Create space for chief executive visits, people courtesy visit and all of those things and all that happen because the government space, many people come in, every day is always busy. But part of this team must be looking for your wins and materializing the narrative in a way that is clear and easy to appreciate and ensure that they occupy media space. I just took your Instagram page. I went through everything from beginning to the end. Everything. I saw events. I saw a lot of the staff maybe speaking at one event. I saw all of those. All of those things are good, but they are activity. You now need what I call productivity-oriented narratives. What that will do is that it has its own way of contributing towards your brand destination. Because, put it simply, Nigeria Shippers Council is the rescuer of the shipper. That's all. You are it's very simple. In fact, the mantra should be Nigeria Shippers Council to the rescue. Like a Superman wearing his cape. That's what you are. And that's how you build your brand. What is a brand, by the way? Brand. Marketing 101 is simply a promise. That's all. Your brand is the promise that you are making, that you've communicated, and that you are committed to delivering upon. And as you deliver on it, you communicate it. And that strengthens your reputation. And over time, that's your brand. That's what it is. So we must manage this situation to ensure that there is a proper functional alignment between what we are delivering and how we are being perceived. So what ways do you think we can translate some of our wins into natural narratives that can be out there? And if you do that, I can tell you your Instagram page will probably more than double, because those will be real scenarios that people can engage with. Because as Hassan Bello used to say in those days, that we are all shippers. Once you put something in an envelope or whatever it is, you order something that it comes to you. Everybody is a shipper in one way or the other. So what ways do you think we can do that? How many of you have been to your Instagram page here in recent times? Someone is smiling there. That means she hasn't been there. You have. Okay, show of hands. How many of you have been to your Instagram page? Let's count. Let's take a census. Head of PR, so at least get to see your team and see what's going on. Okay, so let's say out of, maybe let's say 30% or 40% of the group. How many of you have watched your TV program on YouTube? So how many of you have tracked the nature? Am I wrong with what I just said about your Instagram page? So I saw. Okay, so in what ways do you think we can because you're the ones on this job, I can't really picture in full concrete sense all the issues you address. For instance, you said we had 6 complaints. One of them had to do with demurrage. Another one had to, what does it mean? It does. I get the point. It doesn't stick. The point I'm making that what does it mean? It's just like data, some information. But could you translate that into much more concrete narrative, storytelling?
Yes, sir.
That particular segment, if you can reimagine it and make it weekly, it's a good start. It's at least another component that helps your brand, because it's appealing to your ecosystem, those that need to know. Yes, please.
So I think we should just do like a turnaround, concentrate more on that, because that's the stakeholders we're dealing with. Then I think the other activities, you can now make them like more of tidbits. Okay, the ES executive visited this.
Yeah.
They will now tell that less time, and then concentrate more on that instead of giving the personality story of the ES. I think the stakeholders' interactions should be more like our focus.
Absolutely.
Because they are the ones that will now sell us out.
Absolutely.
They will sell us out. They are the ones that will interact more and say, we're able to deal with this. So if they are able to deal with this, that means I can take my complaint. If they are able to settle out these people, that means I too can. So it shouldn't be just that tidbit small session. It should be more time should be dedicated to it. I think, so let me just give you this story we had in Kaduna. There was this black eye beans issues that we had from Kaduna to Dubai. You understand? It was a lengthy negotiation. But the good thing about it, even though it wasn't given prominence, is that at the end of the day, they was able to reach a compromise that Shippers Council stepped in, and then they was able to negotiate it. So for me, that was like a victory.
Yes.
You understand that if we sell it out, people will know that yes, okay, we are working. If they can sort out this, they can sort out other.
Absolutely.
Just more time for this.
Your wins.
Yes.
Put out your wins out there.
I have more confidence in you too.
Yes.
The more wins you put out there, the more it strengthens your brand.
Yes.
Nigerian Shippers Council. This is a council designed, put in place by law to protect the shipper. And it does that through regulating economic activities within the port system. That could work, and it's something that you should figure out a way to put across. Yes, please. Please.
There was a time in one of our TV programs that we had a stakeholder whose issue was resolved at the complaints unit. And given his remarks, he said, when you have an issue come to Shippers Council, they will always be there to help you.
Yeah.
They were even praising Shippers Council for not collecting the times. So I remember that week after the program was aired, because we used it in Article 70. After the program was aired, the ADPR, that's our head, brought it to our knowledge that I don't know if it is a TV station that was saying that it's an advert, and that's an advert. So we'll have.
Hold on.
Yes, sir.
How dare they? You've paid for your airtime. There's no way. How dare they? It's not even done.
So we're told that
Okay.
we have to obtain a certificate for advertisement before we put anything like
Anything
advert
that
in
has
this
to
one.
do with
Okay, is it from APCON and all that? Okay, it's not as if, well, maybe APCON has evolved, but I don't think, well, I did quite a couple of those during my time in NIMASA, and then nobody, yes, you paid for your airtime, but you can do whatever you have to
Now,
do.
that we should be
No?
careful on the narratives because some of the statements can be advertising statement. And
No, if it's a testimonial, if it's a testimonial,
it's supposed to be a testimony, but the argument that was saying, come to Nigerian Shippers Council, come and work. So it's the narrative that they were.
Well, the beauty of it is that if that is a challenge, I don't think it's too much of a big deal if it's an advert. I mean, you can on your own recognizance get APCON to give you that approval. Yeah. Those things don't cost much, maybe 35,000 or whatever. If I'm surprised, maybe these are new things, because during my time, we used to do quite a lot. We were creating promos. I was writing ad script to promote quite a number of things for NIMASA then internally, and it never came up. So I would think maybe it's a recent.
You know, we're not supposed to collect anything from the program, like money. But they feel that if you future somebody like that, it means you are collecting something from them.
Yeah, unfortunately, which is whereas what you're doing is you're promoting
on Apple.
Yes, that's the thinking. Maybe that's because I think there's a drive for revenue, and so they're really recreating or redefining a lot of these things. But then, of course, if that is now the rule, because they do have a say in terms of regulating that space, I don't think it's anything too significant. But the key thing is, let's just push out our narrative. Now, in terms of the content, it's important, provide adequate bandwidth for the chief executive that covers his activities. And at the same time, tell your stories more. And because those stories will help define, since that is our interest here, it's to help define and shape the brand, shape Shippers Council from being an entity into having an identity. Because right now we're essentially an entity of government, an agency of government. But the goal is to evolve into one with an identity. In other words, we identify with shippers. Shippers identify with us across the strata. And in today's world where there's so much e-commerce going on, I think that Shippers Council can actually mainstream the value of the fact that we're all shippers. I know Isaac Bello used to say that a lot. I thought that was one way I got to appreciate Shippers Council. That you can be the one, in fact, it's your responsibility by law to mainstream the concept that we're all shippers. Everybody is affected by what Shippers Council does economically. So everyone should have an interest in what we are doing and therefore help in building that into a brand. So the concept of shipping and all its values, which of course goes beyond waters anyway, should be you owning that space as a brand in the hearts and minds of Nigerians. That is when we actually arrive at that brand destination. But the thinking within this current situation must be such that it's more strategic and our effort is driven by this sort of ideas. And so every time we're going out there, before something happens, if it catches us off guard, our response goes beyond the original, typical, stereotypical way of let's do it this way. We can turn it around. We can turn it into a story. It's not too late to tell your own narrative of the NPA episode. In fact, now that everything has cooled, this could be a time where there is mental space and bandwidth, where you could then come out and drive a narrative of yours that can stick with people. And then keep in mind that because the world has become so discontinuous, you are an organization of government, an agency of government that is built to function as an incumbent. You know how the concept of incumbency, which is very traditional and which is you can predict, so to speak, because you're comfortable, you're in charge, you determine things. But you must now begin to think with some sense of insurgency. Why does insurgency last? Why is it such a challenge militarily? It's because traditional armies fight based on traditional principles. Insurgents don't have any rules. They redraw the map. They take the battles to places which is non-conventional. They pop up here and there. So you need And I'm going to, head of here, I'm going to appeal to you, ma, to encourage a little bit of insurgent thinking, not insurgent thinking, not in the sense of irreverence, but out of thinking out of the box to do some things. With social media, and you have a TV program, a TV platform, you can reimagine the TV program. When I got into the master, one of the things I tried to do was, so why can't I have interviews on a boat? My first set of interviews were on our vessels. I realized that a lot of people in the master had hardly gone out to the waters. There were so many things I imagined, just that my schedule, my plate was so full. I thought of ideas where if people come to visit us, they should live with fresh fish. Because it's maritime. Do you know the PR that will do? That what we are giving our guests is fresh fish picked out of maybe somewhere in a, or what have you. It's just, we are giving you the maritime experience. You see, let me tell you, that will make news faster. That will trend more on social media. Quicker. We have to think out of the box. Why? That is solidifying your brand, giving the right picture. Oh, these are shippers. So everybody is into shipping. Those are the kinds of stories. Sometimes we used to think that, are you crazy? What? I said, look, you need a bit of this insurgent thinking, because this is a government establishment. The space is pretty much established in nature. But if you're going to break out a little bit, you need some doses of this once in a while. So it's to really challenge that thing. And I think that's, for me, is the major argument I bring to you today. To say, as public relations people, we must be very strategic. We must shift the paradigm. Because aren't you tired of people just ambushing you every now and then over issues, especially bad actors? Sometimes it could be somebody who decides, maybe they wrote a proposal and the means was not there to satisfy them. And the next thing, some news is flying around and you have to do cleanup. So it's time to get ahead of the game. That's the point I'm making to all of us. To think creatively as well. And within the structural accommodation of an agency of government such as ours, we can make some good creative progress. So I want to begin to wrap up. Do I still have more time? Okay, good. So by now coming into some of the skills that each person, everyone around this table needs to have, we must also develop ourselves. We must develop ourselves. And very intentionally. Now, number one, I think I had my notes, just a second here. So I'm going to read through some of these skill sets that are necessary. Excuse me. So we've agreed and we've made the point that a brand is a promise. And for you, your promise to the shipper is that we will protect you. We will always have your back. And exactly. We are like the Superman in our cape, NSC at the back of it, coming to the rescue. So if you're being bullied by a terminal operator or what have you, and then, or for some reason you're delayed and then your shipment defaulted into demurrage and all of those things are piling and it's about to sink your business. Shippers Council is that knight in shining armor that swoops in and say, no, I'm the defender of this universe, so to speak. And the shipper knows that they've got our back. So that is incentive for them to keep on driving their business. Because the more they ship, the more there's cargo accruals. And we know the ramifications of more cargo, even to us as a nation, in the International Maritime Organization. It's part of what counts against us when we go to IMO. We're talking about category C and all of those things. They look at those metrics. So your role is so important, such that if people now leave our port environment to use other ports, that's a loss for us. So Shippers Council must rise to that occasion, and we must communicate these winning narratives. So in terms of the kind of skill sets that I want to encourage us to develop, number one is strategic thinking. So let me explain. Strategic thinking at the personal level is instinct to just question. It's the essential element in every good journalist. I mean, the way we're taught journalism, you use your 6 serving servants. Who, what, where, when, why, and how. The 6 serving servants, 6 of them. Let's develop strategic thinking skills at the personal levels, and it starts by just questioning, what if? What if? You can do this privately, personally, nurture it on your own till it becomes a skill. You'll be amazed at how it serves you. Number 2, the ability to read and absorb expansively. Let me ask, in the last 2 weeks, how many of us have read or are reading any book? Just a book. Let me see. How many hands up? All right, what are you reading? Tell me, sir. Tell me, what are you reading? What's the title of the book?
The Tracy System.
The what?
The Tracy System.
The Tracy.
Leadership.
Okay, the Tracy. That's John C. Maxwell. Okay. What about you now? Somebody is Purpose-driven life. That's Rick Warren. Rick Warren. Okay. Anyone else? Oh, Atomic Habits. I forgot the guy's name now. It's a self-help reference. It's a very popular one in recent times. So what I'm saying is, please, you don't need to be an exhaustive, fantastic reader. Just, even if it's just 2 pages every day, the quality of your self-development is going to rub off on the quality of your production at work. There's no magic to it. And one way to ensure that is to start by reading. It could be anything. It could be a maritime themed material. It could be something that is business related. It could be a motivational reference, whatever it is. Develop it, because what it does is that it expands the mind. You see, the best communicators are those with expansive dispositions, because they can relate, they can sit in any scenario mentally. And so if they are to drive communication narratives with a pen and paper without thinking, they can either craft a script or do a memo or do a press release and set the direction, the news peg, the direction of how we want this to be done. So please make out time, read, because the exercise value for the mind is very significant. And we are the thinkers for the organization. Let's understand that we are the thinkers for the organization. And there are things that my principal will want to do, and I tell him, you can't do it. I tell him, I'm sorry. You will do it, but not that. That was the way I work. And maybe because I had enough of that latitude, because I was practically railroaded, and we were very close. And I tell him, I said, because I'm not ready to spend the next 1 week trying to beat back or manage the fallout. And it's going to distract you. You still have this and that and the other. That was the level of leverage that I have. I know it's not the same for everyone. I understand that. But it's our function. I understood that was my responsibility as well. And I said, okay, if you're going to do it, or let's put it this way. Let's tweak the headline a little bit. just to give us, let us lead it before it happens. That's what that strategic ability gives you before it happens. Number 3, your writing skills. It's so important.
Listen, please, like what the second one you're talking about,
Yes.
reading.
Yes.
You see, there is, in our school of journalism, they will always tell you, for you to be a very good journalist, you must go and read other disciplines.
Yeah.
Because you may see a lawyer and you have not read anything about law. You don't know much about law. You can't ask him a question. And if you ask him a basic question, he will now navigate and go to a higher pedestal that you will not even be understanding what he's saying. That is why the emphasis is that you go on, read the trade laws. The trade laws are, you read international shipping laws. All these things will help you so that at any point in time, there's a crisis, you will know how to navigate and you know how to respond immediately.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And that is so profound. In fact, it should be taken for granted that should be induction level material, so to speak, at its most fundamental, because you have to communicate, you have to ensure that the words or the message is out there. Then the third one has to do with writing skills. Well, I'm going to say this, we all have to continue to develop in this area as much as possible, but you can't write well if the first 2 areas have not been developed. Because you'll end up writing for formality. You're writing to get a particular line of messaging across. And to strengthen your writing, your vocabulary must be strong. Again, how do you get strong vocabulary? By reading. By reading and utilizing keywords. In your industry, for example, your registers are very important. How you use them. The question that I would love to ask is, it's so easy to say, okay, those people, those of us in PR, we are not the core shipping professionals. That's not true. That should not be an excuse. You must know everything. When I joined NIMASA, I had to read up on these things they call Incoterms. I had to read up. I was reading, my case was a problematic one. Why? I was yanked from the School of Eloquence and engrafted into the highest level as an advisor on strategy and communication. So I had to rely on my consulting background to draft the strategy for my friend who was the DG then. And I actually did it when I was outside, because I said, I can help, but from outside. I'm not coming in. But when they drafted me in, goodness me, after my first week, I said, well, you will not be able to cope if you don't read up. I was reading. I had to start ordering maritime history. If you see my library, I was ordering books, dictionaries, oceanic terminologies. Because I could be in a meeting, they'll say, all right, I said, now give us a brief. And then I'm using what? Terminologies that belong in the market there. So I had to read. And not only was I reading, I was making sure the guys, I had designated staff in the Marine Environment Management Department, in shipping development. I will summon them, I will invite them. All right, talk to me. As they're talking, even though they're giving me a brief, but the journalist in me was asking questions for my learning and development. That was how I caught up. You must develop a strategy that works for you, that enables you to quickly come up to terms. You must know everything, whether it's the terminologies and the modus operandi. How many of us here have been to the ports? How many of us? 1, 2, 3, not every one of you. You should go and walk at least, even if it's just go there, embed yourself, have a feel, breathe in the air there. See how these all transactions unfold. I am telling you, it will shape the way you put the narrative out. That's why you see journalists, they want to go to places. They want a tour, they want to do a tour, they want an on-the-spot assessment, or just get on the plane, get on that helicopter, see what's going on. Because when they then write the stories, they immerse you in it. Please, you are the port economic regulator. You must know what those ports look like. You must see what the freight forwarders are going through. You need to go there. At least have a whiff of it. It will shape a lot of things. It will. That experiential dimension will make it very visceral and to make what of a difference. I talked about your writing skills. Then you must also develop your speaking skills. Very important. You must become a dynamic speaker. Because you can be in a place and they are saying things that may not be directly picking out Shippers Council, but ramification-wise, you know you should weigh in. That's not the time to be silent. That's the time you get up. And I can tell you, in 5 minutes of speaking, you can paint the finest picture of your organization into pure brand value in the hearts and minds of people. That's how powerful the art of speaking is. Effective oral communication. You must develop it. Learn it, whatever it is you do. All of you here must be good speakers. You can no longer hide behind your memos. You must. You cannot be in the communication arena and not be able to speak effectively with confidence and explain, boil down what it means to be a shipper. What does it mean? For instance, Nigerian Shippers Council, when I was just really looking at it, I came to the conclusion that the Nigerian port is like, what, Old Trafford. Arsenal versus Man United. And MPA is the referee. That's all. If one party, Arsenal could be... let me be clear about this. There are people who talk about AI taking our jobs. I like what a young lady said recently online. She said, no, AI will not take anybody's job. It is people that know how to use AI that will take other people's jobs. I was very impressed with that statement. Please, when you are online, don't get too carried away with all the social noises and all the crazy content. Somebody wake up in the morning and because, the way they went to bed, they just begin to post themselves. And before you know it, before noon, it will have over 10,000 views and all that. Scan through all of those. You're going to meet, especially on LinkedIn, where people are really making meaningful contributions, adding meaningful value. You're going to see a lot of that. So, your ability to interface with AI. And the principle behind artificial intelligence is very simple. We, the humans, are the originators. AI is the generator. So, the original ideas coming from us and using AI to generate any additional. We do not abandon our responsibility to AI. Recently, of course, I teach public speaking and I coach quite a number of people, quite a lot of top people, even in the maritime sector. Even after I left, I went back to the school of eloquence. And so there was this day, one of my students, very senior person in one of the agencies, was preparing for a speech. He had to represent his principal. And so they sent me the speech. It was written by the PR unit. Don't worry, it was not NSC. It was written by the PR unit. And I took the speech. As we were practicing and tried to help him prepare, I said, hold on. I then assessed the speech for AI. I realized that 70% of it was written using AI. Now that's an abuse. So practically, there was no input. So AI was no longer being used as a tool. AI was being used or being abused as the staff, as the speechwriter. I kid you not. So that's laziness. And there's no way you'll be able to respond to this larger crisis when we get to communication crisis. If, as a communications person, you're not developing your capacity. If your principal, I believe you write speeches for your, does this department do you do some speech writing as well? This unit, do you do some speech writing? Or sometimes, okay, if they want, okay, PR can do the speech. So part of what you want to do is sit down with the party involved, let them articulate in very clear terms and help them refine from a communication standpoint. Because it's not everything that should be said in the way it is said openly. And that is your duty as gatekeeper, which is one of the functions of media, of communication, of journalism. You're the gatekeepers. People think gatekeeping is only about what we should prevent from coming in. Part of gatekeeping is also what we prevent from getting out. So you can guide. And there are steps, there are procedures for guiding principals or parties, lead parties who are giving speeches. So you can use AI to support the original intent. Understand the principle. We humans are originative. AI is generative. Do not reverse the role. Do not see the original responsibility to AI. It's just maybe you go to ChatGPT or Gemini and say, give me a speech. You can imagine if I had gone to use AI, I would have just been reading from, and then we'll be reading, okay, I have my paper. I would have given you paper now up to 20 pages from AI. But we are still the originals to make the conversations meaningful, productive, and impactful. So AI should be used intentionally towards clearly set goals, used as a tool. So you can't run away from it. There are people who are trying to avoid the use of artificial intelligence. It has come to stay. The same way when Google showed up and we were worried, you mean you just do a search and everything will come out, and we got used to it. I am sure within the next 1 or 2 years, we will all be using these tools to provide us the necessary support. We as communicators must be leading the charge on the cutting edge of the use of these tools. Then the next skill that we must develop has got to be our interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills will serve our ability to cut across departments and understand what is going on, rather than always waiting. Interpersonal skills is purely relational capability. Why? Because you constantly need information, you constantly need perspective, you constantly need intelligence to guide how you prepare materials and to give you a good head start. Please, PR unit, do not operate in your own echo chamber. Go across the directorates, have friends, colleagues, interface regularly so that you can constantly have a good feel of real issues going on, not rumor-driven content within the organization. You know what I'm talking about. There are things we all get to know almost immediately. Those are rumor-driven content. But more functional information and awareness must come through how we interlink. Swing by the other department, the other unit, get a sense of what's going on. And then your interrelational skills with the media is also very important. Please, let the media not just be when it's time for your press release that you're circulating. I think we should strengthen that handshake. There are maritime journalists that I met that were just so exceptional. They were very serious-minded. They were not interested in personality stories. Those were the easy ones. Please, when can we see the DG? We want to interview him. And you're asking the DG the questions that the answers are readily available.
They answered 3 days ago.
That the PR unit or the marine environment unit could have provided you. But I met a few journalists who said, look, I want to do a special report on this aspect of pollution and what NIMASA is doing. That was just so I met journalists like that, but there were few. And you also must orchestrate. You can orchestrate and encourage 1 or 2 journalists that have the depth to explore this. Exactly. You can orchestrate. And then they do it, and that forms part of what you feed into the ecosystem. In fact, you can have the journalists help you with some research-related work that gives you the content that you can use. And then another skill is your ability to create short-form video content that can tell the stories of the seas. This is now a necessity, given the kind of media space that we are living in. Who is your competition? It's not your fellow sister marine and blue economy agencies. Your competition is all of that business out there online, making it difficult for people. You've got to find short form content. Your ability to create those things, they are very important. Take your camera team somewhere in the port, create something that people can relate to, and put it on TikTok. Put it on all these platforms, and then thankfully, one of the interesting and exciting things I found out during my time in maritime is that there are 1,001 WhatsApp groups. And once you send it to one, everybody in the maritime sector gets to see it. Do you know? Think about this. My dear head here, think about this, madam. Do you know that using those sort of short forms with a clear plan every week over the next 3 months, just circulating it across all those WhatsApp groups? A lot of journalists have their own. I'm sure I'm on some with some of you, just that we don't know, have each other's numbers and all that. Just the shipper. Maybe the shipper becomes, you can evolve it from just being a TV, the name of your TV program, into it becoming a person, an embodiment. It could become a character. That will stick more, faster. Give it a form. And then you tell the stories around it. It requires thinking. It requires a different approach. Because the world we live in now is so discontinuous. We can't keep up with this crazy digital world using the analog framework that most of us government entities were built on. We can't. It is changing. So we need to lead the conversation. We need to tell our stories that define ourselves before others define us. Because every day, the circumstances in the port economic environment is defining us whether we know it or not. So we need to get ahead of it, to define ourselves. Have a list of those your victories, convert them to clear narratives. 3-minute short forms. Put them out there and sell yourself. Consistently, it will change the perception within that group, because those are your stakeholders. So these are some of the things that I think we can, they are low-hanging fruits. in terms of skills, mindset, and approach that we can have and begin to nurture. They are low-hanging fruits. We can invite any of these people, these younger people, to come and maybe coach you as a group through how to do some of these things. We must do that, whether we like it or not. Even though some of us have, we are like in our 50s and above, and then we see what is going on. This is the world that we are in. Our stories are being told behind our backs. And trust me, they are not telling it the way it should be told. And we can't lift our hands up in despair and say it's not fair. We need to regain the narrative. And I'm sure that NSC gets coppers posted. Some of these coppers, if you have them posted, get them into your units. Any coppers here? No. I'm sure you have some. Get them into your unit and begin to saddle them with some of these things. You'll be amazed at what they can give to you. And they are within the system, so it will be compliant. But that fresh take will unveil a dimension. You'll be amazed. Send it to the executive secretary, send it to all the directors, just move it around. A fresh take, a fresh dimension. Because that is the world that we live in. So I want to encourage us with this. Sometimes part of it is you catch your ES unawares, tell him to say one or two things, you catch a stakeholder unawares, you mix it together, you send it out, it goes viral. Oh, Shepherds Council, they are carrying us along. It's just, these are, because a brand is not a product of just one singularity of effort. It's not. It is an amalgam of effort, initiatives, vigilance all over. We're making sure that the bad actors are not being mischievous. We're staving them off. That's true. We do that, but then there's space. We fill it in with positive material so that we are leading the telling of our stories, and we stay the course. We stay the course. We get creative and innovative. Okay, this is happening and all that. Yes, we don't need these stakeholders to be a part of it, but let's surprise them. Please come and sit in. It will be nice for you to see what we are doing. And then you just sort of build all of these things together cumulatively. The world has changed. The structured approach is failing. The structured approach to what we do is failing because there are too many insurgents out there. Ask the Nigerian army, they will tell you how long it's taking for them to adapt, to even contain the insurgency. They have to do things unconventionally. So we are living a battle between the incumbents, we are the incumbents, and then the insurgents. The factors happening so quickly beyond our control. We must adapt. We must remain incumbent with the mindset of insurgents. I think that will be my last words to you. Thank you very much.
Please, can we give another sound?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
When I had to control him, because if you allow him, you'll be here 1 o'clock. He's never tired speaking. And you don't doubt why. He's the proprietor of School of Eloquence. So you need to control SN when he's talking. And he can engage you, you will never be tired. Because I know if it is ordinary message, some of you should have been feeling like dowsing now, but you are never tired. SN, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We didn't make a wrong choice.
Thank you.
Bringing you to come and speak with our thoughts.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So much. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you very much, man. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it.
Yes.
Okay.
Please, if you have.
Actually learned a lot, and then you said something about us having a book
Playbook. Yes. For various scenarios.
That is something we will look into and then make sure we do.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
And scenario.
Scenario.
Yes, scenario painting. Yes. Serious. What if question?
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
what if this happens, what if this thing doesn't happen, and then I think that will bring out the best in us. We're very, very grateful.
Glad to hear
Thank
that.
you very much for
Thank
your
you,
time,
thank
and
you.
wish all the best.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate. Thank you. I'm honored. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
I'm Martina Pere New Beach from Nigerian Shippers Council South Zone Coordinating Office. The retreat so far has been so eye-opening, and especially today's topic from the Mr. SN Ubong, eloquent speaking, has been so eye-opening. It has impacted us positively and have given us a guide on how to go about being an emperor and a lot more. We appreciate it so much, and we wish to have more of this kind of sort of training. Thank you.
Medantia Susan Shahoma, and the training was very insightful, very engaging. I learned a lot in terms of the importance of actually shifting my mindset from doing things the regular way to actually thinking outside the box. It was a very interesting class for me, and I would say my biggest take home is the fact that we can actually do things differently. Even though we might have been used to doing things the conventional way, we can actually make a decision to do things in a different way and still get better results. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Ogugbemi Idowu Samuel. A big thanks to the facilitator who has impacted knowledge. We've been encouraged to set a timely goal to drive the council's image, and also to shape the public opinion by setting a strong agenda for the public. We have also been encouraged to invest in improving some of our skills, which has to do with speaking skills, writing skills, and also to ensure we improve on our capacity to timely delivery of public relations services. And according to him, he said it is time we look at the opportunity in harnessing the greatness in the strategy of public relations, that is relying on some platforms to drive the council's goal and to also ensure we sustain mutual understanding with the public. And there are some means and strategies to do that, which has been highlighted. And trust me, as a result of this great discussion, we'll take it and we'll implement it so that at the end of the day, we achieve a strong goal, a strong image with the public, and also improve on the council's reputation. Thank you.
My name is Zainab Momon Blakos, Public Relations Officer, Kaduna Port Office. I enjoyed today's lectures. It was very interactive. Personally, my take home is the dynamic shift, how we think from not the normal thinking we always think every day, thinking of something new, what we use to sustain the image of the council, and how to that sustainability of the image. And also what I also took was what if, the question of what if, always sitting down to think, what will happen? Thank you.
And we have a national anthem. In brotherhood we stand, Nigeria so proud to serve as sovereign motherland. O God of creation, grant these our one request. Help us to build the nation where no man is oppressed. And so with this and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed. Thank you. You may be seated.
For 2026, we are looking at the Smart Plus routine. And a smart port is tech driven. A smart port will rely on robotics, AI, and other modern tools that will limit human interface, human presence, and more of machines. But we don't need to be afraid, because anytime we discuss smart port, the union will think workers will lose their jobs. No. If we migrate to having a smart port system, I'm optimistic that it will create more jobs for smart people. And I believe that Nigerians are smart. We've seen people with Nigerian certificates go out of this country and serve as the best of doctors. We've seen people with Nigerian certificates go out of this country and serve as the best of engineers. So I can tell you that maritime stakeholders, maritime scholars in Nigeria can also perform optimally within and outside the shores of Nigeria. Mr. Chairman, I hope I've been able to keep to the 10 minutes you gave. I want to, on behalf of my colleagues, welcome you all to the 6th edition of the General Awards.
Private sector operators must invest in innovation and efficiency. Regulators must embrace transparency and data-driven oversight. And industrial practitioners must commit to continuous learning and adaptation. As we deliberate today, let us remember that a smart port is not just about technology. It is about efficiency, transparency, competitiveness, and national prosperity.
I want to tell us a story. This is my personal experience. I was impressed when the chairman was talking about why is it that in Nigerian ports and logistics environment today, institutions, government agencies cannot work 24 hours. That is what we want to establish today. Can the system work 24 hours? What is the implication of not working 24 hours? In Nigeria today, freight forwarders, shippers, pay for services that are not rendered. Why? Because from 8 a.m. to about 4 p.m., most offices close, government offices close. Some, NAFDA, including my agency, CRFFM, and the rest. Customs, I think I'm impressed with recent reports that even in Tinkan here, that they have started working even weekends, but not 24 hours. I don't know if they have started working 24 hours. You're almost there. Please be quick and get there. Very important. It's very important because smart ports requires 24 hours operation. Logistics is time bound. It's also cost bound. Any delay in logistics translates to cost.
He said the model that if we are not too familiar with the book, look at what he's trying to say. What I just said is the issue of malpractices tells what I do have not been addressed. So the question to be important smart port. If the issue of consistent source of energy, not the one we see today, where the operators are acquiring themselves with the cost of doing business in the port, or cost of joining cargo out of the port will be high. Then talk about telecoms. If some of the operators, shipping lines are depending on telecoms and they don't have a backbone, the aspect of system breakdown telecom. That's why custom have made every effort to abandon way for them of the server, use the backbone to support what they're doing. If not, they have a problem.
Because we have to address ourselves. If we put these things in place, and we have been putting various policies and systems in place for so long, but in the end, we as operators, as players within the system must ask ourselves, what role are we playing to ensure that this works? That's all. The last thing I want to mention is that I've sat in this conversation and I want to appeal to Mr. Ismail Adim. I think that there are two parties that should be here that are not here. The telecoms operators should be here. If you're talking about the blue economy must go beyond just maritime thinking. Because you're discussing smart systems. All of those things must ride on the backbone. I'll give you an instance. 3 or 4 days ago, we just finished at the School of Eloquence a Guinness World Record attempt for the longest public speaking marathon. What is the problem we are facing? We're using all kinds of internet infrastructure to send videos, and 3 days after, we're still struggling. We're still struggling. Now, that is just an institution that is, we can call it a soft institution. How much more in the port ecosystem? They should be here to listen and understand their role in it. And that's why some of most of our maritime events must open up a little bit more to enable outsiders or other fields to come inside. Because
some of the tools which have been provided by WCO. Nigeria Customs Service itself has it's about 90% automated already. If you remember what it was with Asikuda plus 96 and now Bodo. Remember when the speaker asked me if we are running it in 4 hours, what operations? I said almost. I said not yet, but of course, the system has evolved tremendously.
Yeah, for us, we have been in Amato. We sat down some 2-3 years ago already. You know, it's very difficult, easy to destroy, very difficult to build. We sat down and looked at, from our various engagements with agencies, government, MPA, NSC, even the CRFF. So we peered into the future and saw that if we do not embrace smart personnel, smart association. So by that, what we have been doing or trying to do, for instance, we identified certain projects that will help us get on track to be able to fit into the smart ports. And not just smart port, like the Thailand, it's supposed to be a smart maritime ecosystem. Because even at the level of dry port, if you do not also plan for a smart system, then you are going to have the kind of congestion that you have in the port now, around that place. I think the MD of Nigeria Railway, acknowledged that fact. I think some 2 weeks ago at the MPCC, meeting we had, that go to a Vitamin now, you will see. It's been a redeployment of the part of the congestion here, to that place, because there's no smart preparation, in calling up trucks into that rail.
As part of Journal NG's contribution to the good and growth of Nigerian maritime industry, we initiated the Port Industry Town Hall meeting. This is the 6th edition, and every year we pick a topic that will help engender the development of the sector. Like last year, we talked about 24-hour port operations. This year, we are talking about smart ports, and they are in sync. Those two issues synchronize, and it's meant for the good and growth of the industry. Because if you don't discuss it, you don't create the awareness. Policy makers, policy implementers, government people, those are the private and public sector, may not even key into this agenda. But if it's out there, the more awareness we create, the better for Nigeria. Green port has to do with environmental sustainability. Yeah, smart port is automation. Yeah, lesser human interface, digitization, and they work for common good.
They're not really much what we want.
we want Nigeria to not only to be signatory, but to be active implementer of global conventions and treaties. We are asking the key port operators to remove their normal mentality of smartness, unquote, to approach smartness through the application and embracing the application of artificial intelligence, blockchain, Internet of Things, in discharging their duties and functions within the port environment and maritime space. That's what we're trying to say. Artificial intelligence to drive your process to think better. The Internet of Things giving you opportunity to, connect the world. Then the blockchain, having a platform that will make you work better than you are achieving. So you achieve targets. We are saying let our port be green. The United Nations is saying let us encourage, instead of dry port, let our port be green. That means if you come to your port, start planting trees. Let there be green atmosphere inside the port, so that the bolstering that comes and the emissions that come from a vehicle, the trees and the flowers will have the capacity to absorb it. If you are doing so, you're also helping to help the green evolution of United Nations. So we want our system to be driven by a green environment that is more healthier than what we have. Because if you are operating in a dry, highly carbon monoxide environment, there's an element of health risk involved. So let us also ensure that the ports thrive by adding value to our health.
The truth of the matter is the world is evolving. Technology is shaping the world. The way things were done in the 90s is different from the way things were done in 2000 and the way things are done today. So every system, every organ, every institution need to evolve with that change. Technology has brought advancements in our ports and logistic corridor. That change should also be adopted. Otherwise, the world will leave us behind. So every stakeholder out there, every government agency out there needs to know this, although it is not a new topic, but it is something that we need to now pay attention to, because the speed of integration matters a lot, so that we don't find ourselves struggling to meet up with the most current developments, in the system. So, yeah, smart port is the way to go. Thank you.
The Smart Port and Green Port initiative is a good one. We are made to understand very well, for instance, that the federal government, under the leadership of the Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has provided the political will for this Smart Port initiative to, to come to light. And we are hoping that this would address fundamental issues around the port. I'm sure a lot of people have been talking about or hearing about the perennial port congestion with the Smart Port initiative. That gridlock would be a thing of the past. All the hues and cries of truckers, for instance, talking about be it multiple checkpoints along the port corridor, and even within the port, as the case may be, we all almost die a natural death in one fell swoop. So the SMART initiative is a good one, and it's something that we as truckers are really looking forward to, because our primary aim as truckers now is to be able to turn around trips. That's where our money comes from, turning over trips. This idea of doing one trip in a month or two trips in a month is making a lot of our members, go bankrupt, and many assets are being liquidated because, like I said, in the meeting, the rates many of our members are presently collecting as a result of the anomaly, occasioned by the anomaly in the system, are survival rates which necessitates, whose consequences results in the liquidating of their assets, because a number of factors are not taken into consideration in the rate that they accept in doing or in picking cargoes from the port. So with the SMART initiative, hopefully we'll go back to the days of doing 4 trips in a week or even more in a week. And that will make, business, make our members buoyant and, port activities encouraging, as it used to be there.
The ocean is Nigeria's greatest untapped treasure. From Lagos to Calabar, from Badagry to Bakassi, our waters carry the power to feed us, connect us, and propel our nation into prosperity. Yet for too long, we have turned our backs to the sea. Today, that tide must change. Our ocean is more than coastline. It is 853 kilometers of opportunity, 200 nautical miles of economic promise, and a lifeline for over 200 million Nigerians. 90% of our trade moves by sea. Millions depend on fisheries for their daily bread. And from offshore oil to renewable energy, our waters are the foundation of our survival. But with great wealth comes great responsibility. Our obligation is clear: to protect our waters from pollution, piracy, and neglect, to keep our seafarers safe, to sustain marine life for future generations, to govern our waterways with justice and foresight. If we fail, we risk not only our environment, but our very future as a maritime nation. Yet within every challenge lies opportunity. The blue economy can generate millions of jobs for our youth in shipping, aquaculture, shipbuilding, tourism, and marine technology. With innovation, skills, and vision, Nigeria can rise as Africa's true maritime giant. Our opportunity is not tomorrow. It is here. It is now. This is why the Blue Economy Academy exists, to eliminate sea blindness and ignite a blue awakening in Nigeria. Through knowledge, advocacy, and action, we are sowing the seeds of ocean literacy, so every Nigerian can see the water not as a boundary, but as a bridge to prosperity. All I want to do is to simply lead a blue awakening in Nigeria, to help my country prosper by water. On this World Maritime Day, Nigeria joins the world to say, our ocean. our obligation, our opportunity. Together, let us awaken to the power of the blue. Together, let us prosper by water.
For decades, our ports have moved cargo. But in a warming world, they must also move energy, clean, renewable, and resilient. Globally, ports are evolving into energy-integrated hubs, generating power from wind, sun, and waves. They power cranes, charge ships, and supply nearby towns. Nigeria's coastal ports receive abundant sun and sea breeze. With the right infrastructure, they could become mini power plants, fueling industry, commerce, and communities. Early progress is visible. Pilot programs are integrating solar into administrative buildings. Hybrid cranes are reducing diesel use. It's a start, but not enough. Our ports can power more than trade. They can power a greener future. The blueprint exists. The momentum is building. Let's light the way.
The sea is more than just water. It's our future. From Badagry to Bakassi, Nigeria's coastline is over 850 kilometers of untapped opportunity. The blue economy is woven into every part of our lives. We are all stakeholders of the seas. From the Blue Economy Academy, Code Blue is the brief designed to eliminate sea blindness. Get the critical insights you need to prosper by water, economically, environmentally, and educationally. Don't miss this opportunity to join the conversation. Limited virtual capacity. Scan the QR code now to join the movement. Let's build a Nigeria that prospers by water with Code Blue.
Life at sea is difficult enough. Let's not make it harder. I'm Ubong Isian, certified speaking professional and founder of the Blue Economy Academy. As the world marks the Day of the Seafarer, under the powerful theme, My Harassment-Free Ship, the message must echo beyond the moment. Our seafarers, those courageous men and women, face storms, isolation, and sacrifice every day. But what they should never have to face is harassment, abuse, or indignity on board their vessels. For women seafarers, this danger is often multiplied. Many of them suffer silently, marginalized, disrespected, or even violated. And all this without protection or justice. We must call this out. We must change it. A ship must be a sanctuary, not a threat. One where every woman is safe, every voice is heard, and every act of misconduct is addressed without delay. At the Blue Economy Academy, this is a moral and strategic priority reflected in two of our foundational pillars. First, Blue Governance and Justice, which demands stronger laws, enforcement, reporting systems, and ethical leadership at sea. And second, Blue Talent, because we cannot build a sustainable maritime future while neglecting the very people who power it. The Nigerian seafarer, whether male or female, deserves more than a struggle. They deserve global relevance, respect, and recognition. Many of our seafarers remain undertrained, underpaid, and underprotected despite their potential and the sacrifices that they continue to make. We must change that. It's time to benchmark Nigerian seafarers against international best standards. It's time to invest in their welfare, dignity, and growth, not just as workers, but as ambassadors of our maritime future. Let's make every ship a place of professional pride, mental peace, and personal protection. Let's create a maritime culture that sees harassment as an emergency and not a hidden habit. Because a true blue economy is not just about what we can extract from the sea. It's about how we treat the people who live and work on it. So, to every Nigerian and global seafarer, we just want to let you know that we see you, we thank you, we stand with you. May your voyage continue to be safe, and may your ship be harassment-free. May your future be even brighter than your past. Thank you. From all of us here at the Blue Economy Academy. Happy Seafarers Day. Indeed, it is your harassment-free ship.
In the vast, often treacherous waters of ambition and opportunity, nations seek a guiding light. They search for clarity amidst the fog and a fixed point when currents shift. Nigeria's blue economy, a boundless sea of potential, navigates these very challenges. We are the lighthouse, unmoved by crashing waves of indifference or the chill of being ignored. We stand. The storm proves the strength of our resolve. We don't wait for applause. Our purpose is to shine for the sake of others. Our light needs no validation. It simply reveals truth. We are built on rock, conviction, knowledge, and the courage of vision, not applause or fleeting trends. Ships come to us. We do not float to meet them. The Blue Economy Academy, with Code Blue as its early warning system, serves as an immovable reference point. We illuminate bearings. We don't pursue tides. Though fixed, we see miles ahead. Rooted in our principle to see a Nigeria that prospers by water, we anticipate, forecast, and lead thought, even when others are blind. We don't compete in the contest of ego or political theater. We are the voice of caution, the eye of foresight. Our clarity is most needed when theirs is most absent. We are always on, even when unseen. Consistency is our character revealed in darkness. Our solitude is not failure. It is insulation for illumination. Long after voyages are forgotten, they remember the light that kept them safe. The Blue Economy Academy and Code. Blue are not moments, they are markers. Your legacy must not change. We are the lighthouse. We need no fleet. We chart no course. But all who journey shall look to us. We will stand. We will shine. And we will not be moved.
They call it the blue economy, the idea that our oceans, rivers, and waterways can drive prosperity without destroying the planet that sustains us. It's a simple but powerful idea, defined by global development leaders including the World Bank as the sustainable use of ocean resources for economic growth, improved livelihoods, and job creation, while preserving the health of ocean ecosystems. To make it even simpler, think of it as a hand, the blue hand with 5 fingers that must all work together. The thumb gives strength. It represents economic growth, the industries that earn us income from the sea, fishing, ports, shipping, tourism, even offshore energy. Every time a boat carries goods through a Apapa port or a new fish market opens in Bonny or Ypres, that's the blue economy at work. But growth must be smart, not just extraction, but innovation, turning seaweed into packaging or waste plastic into boat fuel. The index finger points the way toward people. It's about creating jobs and improving livelihoods for coastal families and inland communities alike. From the fisherwoman in Bayelsa, to the boat repair apprentice in Lagos, to the tour guide at Tarkwa Bay, the blue economy is meant to lift lives and reduce poverty. If growth doesn't translate to better living for the people, it isn't truly blue. The middle finger reminds us of health, the heart of it all. Healthy waters mean healthy jobs, healthy food, and a healthy nation. When oil spills, plastic waste, or sewage destroy our lagoons, we lose not just beauty, but bread. Protecting the mangroves, restoring coral reefs, and keeping our waters clean are investments in our economic survival. The ring finger stands for sustainable use, the promise we make to future generations. It means taking only what the ocean can replace and giving it time to recover. You can't fish everything today and expect the sea to feed your children tomorrow. True sustainability is long-term thinking, using resources wisely so the circle of life stays unbroken. The pinky may be small, but it brings balance. It represents integration, coordination across sectors and borders. What happens in agriculture, energy, or waste management all affects the water. A minister in Abuja, a governor in Rivers, a ship captain in Warri, and a farmer in Kebbi must all see their shared responsibility. The blue economy only works when everyone rows in the same direction. When these 5 fingers move together, growth, people, health, duration, and integration, the hand becomes strong. But when even one finger fails, the hand loses its grip on the future. The blue economy isn't just about the sea, it's about us, our jobs, our food, our climate, and our shared destiny. Because truly, the sea is for all, that all may see. In the 21st century, time is money, and nowhere is this truer than at our ports. Each minute a container waits, goods are delayed, fuel is burned, and economies stall. In a global race where ports are becoming smart, Nigeria must ask, can our harbors keep up? Around the world, the smart port revolution is underway. AI schedules cargo arrivals. Drones survey logistics yards. Blockchain secures paperwork. These ports don't just move goods, they move data. Every second saved boosts GDPs and inefficiencies. But change is possible, and it's beginning. The problems are layered, old systems, limited coordination, and high levels of manual processing. These inefficiencies ripple through supply chains, raising costs and hurting small businesses. But the consequences stretch beyond the docks. Congestion clogs entire city arteries. Perishable goods spoil. Investors think twice. In today's connected world, an outdated port can cost a nation its future. Fortunately, Nigeria is embracing innovation. New initiatives like the Port Community System, PCs, aim to digitize the entire logistics chain, from vessel arrival notices to cargo clearance. Across Lagos and Calabar, young innovators are crafting apps to reduce turnaround times. Female leaders at the Nigerian Ports Authority are championing reforms. Biometric verification and automated gates are replacing handwritten logs. AI is now being tested to simulate vessel scheduling, while machine learning helps predict cargo flow patterns and optimize resource allocation. These tools aren't science fiction, they're policy solutions waiting to be scaled. But smart ports need smart people. From apprentices to terminal managers, the workforce must evolve. Training in digital logistics, cybersecurity, and AI will be as critical as cranes and forklifts. It's not about replacing jobs, it's about upgrading them. A digital future must be inclusive, offering roles in data analysis, IT maintenance, and automation control for Nigeria's growing youth population. The question is no longer if Nigeria can build smart ports, but whether we can build them fast enough. As global trade evolves, our future is docked at the shoreline. It's time to plug in, train up, and sail ahead. Join us on this journey. Because the smarter the port, the stronger the nation.
For centuries, the ocean has been humanity's constant. It's the lifeblood of our planet, a source of endless beauty, and the engine of global trade. It connects us, feeds us, and regulates our climate. But this magnificent resource is facing unprecedented threats. Pollution, unsustainable practices, and climate change put our planet's most vital ecosystem in peril. This World Maritime Day 2025. The theme, Our Ocean, Our Obligation, Our Opportunity, is a powerful reminder. It's a call for us all to act.
Hello everyone, I'm Ubong Essien, founder of the Blue Economy Academy. The maritime sector is the backbone of the global economy, but its future hinges on a fundamental shift in our thinking. The theme for the World Maritime Day 2025, Our Ocean, Our Obligation, Our Opportunity, perfectly frames this crucial moment. First, our ocean. It is a shared heritage. It is not just a collection of water, it is a global ecosystem that sustains millions of jobs, transports over 80% of the world's goods. It is a living, breathing part of who we are. Understanding this is the first step. Next, our obligation. Our duty is clear: to protect and preserve this vital resource. This means embracing sustainable practices, fighting illegal fishing, and reducing marine pollution. At the Blue Economy Academy, we are committed to tackling sea blindness, the lack of awareness about our maritime potential. Our training programs and initiatives are designed to equip people with the knowledge and skills to be responsible stewards of our oceans. It's about building a generation that sees the water not as a barrier, but as a path to prosperity. Finally, our opportunity. This is the most exciting part. By fulfilling our obligation, we unlock immense potential for economic growth and innovation. The Blue Economy is a pathway to a greener future. It includes renewable energy from offshore wind, sustainable aquaculture, and cutting-edge maritime technology. It's about creating jobs, building businesses, and driving economic development in a way that respects the environment. This is the future we are building at the Blue Economy Academy, a future where prosperity and sustainability go hand in hand. So, this World Maritime Day, let's look to the ocean with a renewed sense of purpose. Let's embrace our shared responsibility and seize the incredible opportunities that lie beneath the waves. The future of our planet and our people depends on it. Thank you.
To learn more about the Blue Economy and how you can be a part of this transformative journey, visit our website and follow us on social media.
Life began in the ocean. And perhaps, so will its healing. From cancer drugs to industrial enzymes, the ocean is our greatest untapped pharmacy. Marine biotechnology uses ocean organisms to develop medicine, food, biofuels, and cosmetics. Corals that resist bacteria. Sea slugs that destroy tumors. Seaweed that replaces plastic. It's not science fiction. It's science, deep, blue, and booming. With over 850 kilometers of coastline, Nigeria holds immense biodiversity, yet only 2% of it has been studied for medical or industrial purposes. Startups are emerging, processing native seaweeds, studying marine bacteria, and even developing antiviral compounds. To compete globally, Nigeria must train its future blue scientists, diverse, curious, and bold. Within every drop of seawater are secrets, some that may save lives. Let's decode them together.
Every morning, along Nigeria's 850-kilometer coastline, a ritual begins. Fishermen, some as young as 15, cast off with hope in their nets, but fewer fish return with them each day. A silent crisis is sweeping the West African coast. Illegal, unreported, and unregulated, what we call IUU, fishing is draining life from our oceans. In Nigeria alone, the estimated loss is over $70 million every year. For coastal communities, fish are not just food, they're income, culture, and survival. Yet foreign industrial trawlers, operating with impunity and without permits, vacuum up tons of catch daily, often within waters legally reserved for small-scale fishers. Detecting these ocean crimes isn't easy. The sea offers cover, and many trawlers switch off their tracking systems. But Nigerian authorities are fighting back, with satellite monitoring, coastal radar, and regional cooperation. In 2024 alone, 23 illegal vessels were intercepted. Several were found using banned fishing methods, destroying coral reefs, capturing endangered species, and operating under false identities. The loss isn't only ecological. It's economic and generational. Young people, seeing no future in fishing, leave for cities. Women, who dominate fish processing, face shrinking income. Nutrition suffers as local protein sources dwindle. Nigeria, despite abundant marine resources, now imports a significant portion of its seafood. That's not just inefficient, it's a national security risk. But there is hope, and it starts with people. Community-led patrols are proving effective in deterring poachers. Youth and women are being trained to document illegal activity using mobile technology. At the policy level, Nigeria is updating its fisheries laws, investing in local surveillance capacity, and working with ICAOs to track cross-border violators. There's also growing support for sustainable aquaculture, ensuring supply without harm. The ocean has fed us for generations. But without action, it will grow silent. Together, governments, communities, and consumers, we can defend our waters, restore our fisheries, and build a legacy of abundance. Fish for the future. Because our oceans feed more than our bodies, they feed our future. Beneath the waves, a new frontier awaits, filled with metals that power smartphones, solar panels, and electric cars. But is it a treasure chest or Pandora's box? Across the globe, nations are racing to mine the ocean floor. Cobalt, nickel, rare earth metals, all vital for the green transition, lie hidden under 4,000 meters of pressure and pitch-black silence. Demand for these minerals is soaring. Deep-sea mining could unlock them, at a cost. Nigeria, already a continental energy giant, may soon tap into its underwater mineral wealth. Recent surveys point to rich seabed reserves within our exclusive economic zone. With proper research and strategic governance, seabed mining could diversify our economy and reduce dependence on oil. But the ocean floor is not empty, it's alive. Mining could disrupt fragile ecosystems we barely understand. Species extinction, habitat loss, and sediment clouds could damage ocean life for generations. Critics urge caution. Once disturbed, deep-sea ecosystems may take centuries, or forever, to recover. Can we mine responsibly? With strict environmental safeguards, marine protected areas, and real-time impact monitoring, Nigeria could set a global benchmark. The debate is not just scientific, it's generational. The decisions we make now will shape the ocean's health and our nation's prosperity for decades. A new kind of fuel is rising from the ocean, a gas so powerful it could transform Nigeria's energy landscape. It's colorless, clean, and made from water. Hydrogen is the universe's most abundant element. When burned, it emits only water vapor. As the world shifts from oil to clean energy, hydrogen is fast becoming the fuel of the future. Ocean-based hydrogen is made using renewable power to split seawater into hydrogen and oxygen, a process called electrolysis. It's green, scalable, and ideal for a country like Nigeria, rich in coastal wind, solar, and tidal energy. Green hydrogen could decarbonize Nigeria's shipping sector, electrify remote communities, and power cleaner industries. Already, universities and startups are piloting projects along the coast. New jobs, clean innovation, and export potential, Nigeria can become a hydrogen hub for Africa.
Preview.
From our oceans, we can fuel our future. The hydrogen revolution is here. Let's make it Nigerian.
In the vast, often treacherous waters of ambition and opportunity, nations seek a guiding light. They search for clarity amidst the fog, and a fixed point when currents shift. Nigeria's blue economy, a boundless sea of potential, navigates these very challenges. We are the lighthouse, unmoved by crashing waves of indifference or the chill of being ignored. We stand. The storm proves the strength of our resolve. We don't wait for applause. Our purpose is to shine for the sake of others. Our light needs no validation. It simply reveals truth. We are built on rock, conviction, knowledge, and the courage of vision, not applause or fleeting trends. Ships come to us. We do not float to meet them. The Blue Economy Academy, with Code Blue as its early warning system, serves as an immovable reference point. We illuminate bearings. We don't pursue tides. Though fixed, we see miles ahead. Rooted in our principle to see a Nigeria that prospers by water, we anticipate, forecast, and lead thought, even when others are blind. We don't compete in the contest of ego or political theater. We are the voice of caution, the eye of foresight. Our clarity is most needed when theirs is most absent. We are always on, even when unseen. Consistency is our character revealed in darkness. Our solitude is not failure. It is insulation for illumination. Long after voyages are forgotten, they remember the light that kept them safe. The Blue Economy Academy and Code. Blue are not moments. They are markers. Your legacy must not change. We are the lighthouse. We need no fleet. We chart no course. But all who journey shall look to us. We will stand. We will shine. And we will not be moved.
Once, these waters were the world's most feared. Piracy, theft, fear at sea. But the Nigerian Navy fought back and won. For 3 years, our seas have been calm. Piracy defeated. Waters secured. The Navy victorious. But calm seas alone are not enough. What next? Empty coasts, idle hands, youths with no trawlers to work on. Security without prosperity is only half a victory. America is a superpower because its security fuels its prosperity, and its prosperity funds its security. Nigeria too must embrace this duality. No arm of our military holds the key more than the Navy. The old battle was pirates, oil thieves, and poachers. The Navy won it. The new battle is poverty on our coasts, wasted blue wealth, stolen futures. This is the blue battle, the battle for prosperity, for jobs, for abundance. Admiral, history will remember not only the battles you won at sea, but the prosperity you unleashed from it.
Green, versatile, and fast-growing, seaweed is nature's gift to the future. And in Nigeria, it's just beginning to bloom. Seaweed requires no fresh water, no fertilizer, and absorbs carbon as it grows. Nourishes soil, feeds fish, replaces plastic, and heals skin. Globally, the seaweed market is worth over $15 billion, and Nigeria's coast is ripe for cultivation. Nigeria's warm, nutrient-rich waters are ideal for seaweed, yet only a handful of farms exist. What's needed? Training, investment, and policy support. From snacks to skincare, seaweed offers rural jobs, green exports, and sustainable growth. With blue finance, youth incubation, and smart aquaculture, Nigeria could become West Africa's seaweed leader.
Each year, over 11 billion tons of goods are transported across oceans. From smartphones to tomatoes, from cars to crude oil, the world sails on ships. But these giants of commerce leave behind a trail of carbon and crisis. In Nigeria, Africa's most populous nation and a coastal powerhouse, our ports are gateways to prosperity. but they are also engines of pollution responsible for rising emissions and strained urban infrastructure. The maritime shipping industry produces nearly 3% of global greenhouse gas emissions. That's more than the emissions of Germany or Japan. A single large cargo ship emits as much pollution as 50 million cars. Here in Nigeria, these emissions don't just harm the climate, they choke our cities, burden our healthcare systems, and put vulnerable lives at risk. But the tide is turning. Around the world, ports are embracing cleaner fuels, digital innovations, and green infrastructure. Nigeria is beginning to chart its own path forward. In Lagos, the shift to liquefied natural gas, LNG, as ship fuel is gaining traction. In Rivers State, port authorities are testing electrified cranes. Across the coast, Nigeria's blue economy stakeholders are thinking beyond diesel. Innovation is not imported, it's homegrown. Nigerian universities and startups are developing AI-powered vessel monitoring tools, carbon accounting software, and digital platforms for port operations. The next generation of maritime leaders is learning to code, design, and deploy technology that not only optimizes shipping, but protects our planet. The International Maritime Organization has set an ambitious goal, net zero emissions from shipping by 2050. The world is moving fast. Nigeria must not just follow, but lead. With strategic investment, cross-border collaboration, and the right policy frameworks, Nigeria can become West Africa's hub for clean maritime logistics. Sustainable shipping is more than a global ambition, it's a national imperative. It's about cleaner air for our children, thriving oceans for our communities, and a future that sails with purpose. Join the voyage to decarbonize our seas. Because the journey to a cleaner tomorrow begins with every port we build and every ship we sail. For centuries, coastal communities have lived in harmony with the sea, managing, respecting, sustaining. But that balance is slipping away. Marine policies often come from faraway cities, detached from the rhythms of the tide. Meanwhile, the people who know the sea best are often unheard. Studies show that co-management, shared responsibility between government and locals, leads to stronger enforcement, sustainability, and resilience. In Ibino and Elage, fishers, women processors, and local leaders are setting their own rules, limiting gear, closing spawning zones, and reporting illegal boats. They know that the sea gives only when respected. And when communities feel ownership, enforcement follows. Tools are evolving. Smartphones now track fish stocks. Sea rangers collect data. And fisherwomen use mobile wallets to organize cooperatives. These are not just governance models, they are movements. Proof that sustainability grows stronger when rooted in culture. Governments may draw borders, but stewardship begins at the shoreline. When coastal voices lead, the sea listens, and so should we.
The ocean isn't just water. It's Africa's next trillion-dollar frontier. Are you an executive, policymaker, entrepreneur, or ambitious professional ready to unlock ocean wealth? Introducing the Mastering the Blue Economy, an executive intensive by Blue Economy Academy, your gateway to robust ocean literacy, strategic insights, and leadership excellence.
Nigeria consumes over 3 million metric tons of fish each year, but produces barely half of that. And with wild catch dwindling, what comes next? Across the globe, aquaculture, farming fish instead of catching them, is reshaping food systems. In Nigeria, it's becoming not just an option, but a necessity. Catfish, tilapia, shrimps, these staples are now increasingly farmed in tanks, ponds, and cages. Today, aquaculture contributes 40% of local fish supply. But it's still not enough. The challenges are real. Poor water quality, rising feed costs, and a lack of cold storage plague smallholders. Many lack access to capital or modern training. But innovation is bubbling up. Startups are bringing IoT sensors, mobile diagnostics, and digital marketplaces to fish farmers, boosting yields and reducing risk. Fish is more than food, it's a source of protein, jobs, and resilience. It prevents malnutrition, empowers women, and supports millions of livelihoods. By supporting gender-inclusive fish farming, Nigeria can lift families out of poverty and nourish future generations. To feed tomorrow, we must farm the sea today. Aquaculture is not just about growing fish, it's about growing futures. Clean, climate-smart, and community-led. The next seafood revolution will not come from the ocean floor, it will rise from Nigeria's ponds, tanks, and mines. For years, a silent war was fought in our waters. A fight against pirates, saboteurs, and criminals who threatened our nation's economic lifeblood. This is the story of a force that stood ready. A navy that answered the call. The Nigerian Navy has won the first half of the victory. Through unwavering resolve, piracy in the Gulf of Guinea has been defeated, winning us international acclaim. We have brought calm seas to our nation. But calm seas without thriving coasts is only half a victory. The next battle is not with fire, but with focus. A battle to transform the Navy's security win into Nigeria's prosperity. To win this battle, we must change our strategy. From security as a cost to security as a product. This is the purpose of NIPOL, Nigeria's first national prosperity coalition. It is a Navy-led doctrine, an architecture for immediate action where security becomes the bedrock of investment confidence. NIPOL is a strategic handshake between the war room and the boardroom. It moves beyond the silos of marine and shipping to bring in every sector that touches our seas. Consider our vision for blue cities. Nigeria has 853 kilometers of coastline and 8 littoral states brimming with untapped potential. The private sector is ready to invest billions in coastal resorts and infrastructure, but they need an assurance no other institution can provide. NIPOL is that assurance. It is the platform where the Navy provides the security and state governors provide the access, allowing the private sector to deliver the prosperity. This is how the Navy gets a seat at the table from the very beginning, ensuring seamless security planning while simultaneously generating revenue, creating millions of jobs, and revitalizing our coastal communities. Admiral, the tides of our national destiny are changing. For the first time, a dedicated ministry and a national policy have given us the mandate to act. The space is open. This is the moment to pivot the Navy from a guardian of our waters to the guarantor of our prosperity. This is the legacy that awaits your leadership.
Nigeria takes a bold step toward ocean intelligence and economic diversification as the nation's first dedicated broadcast platform for the maritime sector. Blue Economy TV, BETV, officially launches in Lagos with a mission to eliminate sea blindness and turn the nation's 853-kilometer coastline into a hub of prosperity. The launch marks a new era for practitioners and policymakers alike. The atmosphere at the Blue Economy Academy in Ikoyi was one of high expectations as industry giants, media practitioners, and government officials gathered for the historic unveiling of Blue Economy TV. The event kicked off with a stirring address by the founder of the Blue Economy Academy, Ubong Essien, CSP.
Without maritime, even the oil we have would not be exportable for us to bring in our petrodollars. Shipping and all of that, while we have done that for decades, it is now time to explore all of the other elements that make up the ecosystem. So you have blue talent. For some of you in HR, there's room for you to play there. We have blue power.
A former media practitioner and maritime expert emphasized that while maritime is a sector, the blue economy is an entire ecosystem that Nigeria is yet to fully harvest. Our mission is to see a Nigeria that prospers by water. From Badagry to Bakassi, we have been sea blind for too long. BETV is here to provide knowledge you can use, viewing our politics, our finance, and our future through a blue prism. The vision for the station includes flagship programs like Blue Money Nigeria and a maritime version of Journalist Hangouts designed to drive policy and connect the Blue Corridor states across the Federation. The special advisor to the governor of Lagos State on the blue economy, Oluwadamilola Emmanuel, who was the special guest of honor, described the launch as the sound of abundance. He noted that Lagos, with over 180 kilometers of coastline, stands as the ground zero for this movement.
So today indeed marks a shift. The launch of the Blue Economy TV is not just the unveiling of a platform, but it's the awakening of a consciousness, a realization that our waters are not barriers, but they are bridges, not limits, but they are lifelines, not just scenery, but strategy. Because within these waters lie jobs for our youth, food security through fisheries and aquaculture, mobility solutions through water transport, investment opportunities in tourism, ports, and marine services, and pathways to environmental sustainability and climate resilience.
Our waters are not barriers, they are bridges. Within them lie jobs for our youth, food security, and renewable energy. Transformation must first happen in the minds of the people, and Blue Economy TV is the awakening of that consciousness. A highlight of the event was a high-tech digital display showcasing how AI, satellite, and smart sensors will be used to monitor Nigeria's oceans. This was followed by the official cutting of the ribbon, symbolizing the commissioning of the BETV studio. The special advisor was also honored with a leadership award in recognition of his commitment to advancing maritime strategy in Lagos State. As guests networked at the Blue Economy Academy, the message was clear. The Blue Battle is no longer just about fighting piracy, but about fighting poverty through the wealth of the sea.
Blue Economy Academy prosper by water?
Recent times I've been asked, Ubong, why did you start the Blue Economy Academy? I mean, given that I had a 3-year stint working in the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency as a special advisor on strategy to the chief executive. And that gave me a multitude of experience. It gave me a multitude of exposure as well, and not to talk about acquired expertise at undoubtedly the highest level of maritime administration, working with the Apex Maritime Regulatory Agency. And one thing that I kept seeing time and again is that this nation is truly blessed. And when you look at our coastline from Badagry in Lagos to Bakassi, say at the Cross River end, it's amazing what 853 kilometers of coastline can do. I like to call it the kiss of the Atlantic.
The Blue Economy Academy was founded to eliminate sea blindness and help Nigeria harness its ocean-driven opportunities through education, engagement, advocacy, and awareness. We champion the 10 buckets of the Blue Economy, a framework designed to transform Nigeria's blue resources into a major driver of national prosperity. The Blue Economy Academy executes its mission through 4 core pillars: awareness and public engagement.
No nation could be more fortunate in this part of the world than Nigeria is. So we are, by design, meant to be a nation driven by the blue economy. So in answering their question based on this combination of factors, my answer is that we see a country that should prosper by water. Absolutely. And that's really what is at the heart of our vision at the Blue Economy Academy. We envision a country that ought to be prospering by its waters. Now, keep in mind that within the hinterland of the country, within the country itself, you have about 20 states that can be easily, or that can be connected by water. We have rivers, we have lakes, various water bodies. And that tells us that we also have within our inland waterways a blue corridor. Absolutely, a blue corridor, because in my view, what you have across our coastline, our ocean, we need to get Nigerians to understand. And that's what's at the heart of the Blue Economy Academy, to eliminate sea blindness and to elevate ocean-based opportunities through increased engagement and awareness and advisory and advocacy, so that we can begin to see our ocean not just as a boundary, but as an actual economic frontier, littered, embedded with unbelievable economic possibilities, opportunities waiting to be tapped by Nigerians and for Nigeria. That is what the Blue Economy Academy is committed to achieving. Prosper by water. For us, it is more than just a mantra. It is the essence of what we see in Nigeria and how we see Nigeria prospering through our waters.
Making the blue economy a mainstream conversation to eliminate sea blindness. education, and capacity building, equipping individuals and organizations with the skills needed to thrive in ocean-driven industries. Advocacy and policy support, engaging policymakers, regulators, and industry leaders to shape supportive policies for sustainable maritime development. Footage, high-level meetings, industry conferences, and speeches. Investment and enterprise development, connecting entrepreneurs, financiers, and investors to unlock economic potential within Nigeria's blue sector. Blue Economy Academy, prosper by water.
Time administration working with the Apex Maritime Regulatory Agency. And one thing that I kept seeing time and time and again is that this nation is truly blessed. And when you look at our coastline from Badagry in Lagos to Bakassi, say at the Cross River end, it's amazing what 853 kilometers of coastline can do. I like to call it the kiss of the Atlantic.
The Blue Economy Academy was founded to eliminate sea blindness and help Nigeria harness its ocean-driven opportunities through education, engagement, advocacy, and awareness. We champion the 10 buckets of the blue economy, a framework designed to transform Nigeria's blue resources into a major driver of national prosperity. The Blue Economy Academy executes its mission through 4 core pillars: awareness and public engagement.
No nation could be more fortunate in this part of the world than Nigeria is. So we are, by design, meant to be a nation driven by the blue economy. So in answering their question based on this combination of factors, my answer is that we see a country that should prosper by water. Absolutely. And that's really what is at the heart of our vision at the Blue Economy Academy. We envision a country that ought to be prospering by its waters. Now, keep in mind that within the hinterland of the country, within the country itself, you have about 20 states that can be easily, or that can be connected by water. We have rivers, we have lakes, various water bodies. And that tells us that we also have within our inland waterways a blue corridor. Absolutely, a blue corridor, because in my view, what you have across our coastline, our ocean, we need to get Nigerians to understand. And that's what's at the heart of the Blue Economy Academy, to eliminate sea blindness and to elevate ocean-based opportunities through increased engagement and awareness and advisory and advocacy, so that we can begin to see our ocean not just as a boundary, but as an actual economic frontier, littered, embedded with unbelievable economic possibilities, opportunities waiting to be tapped by Nigerians and for Nigeria. That is what the Blue Economy Academy is committed to achieving. Prosper by water. For us, it is more than just a mantra. It is the essence of what we see in Nigeria and how we see Nigeria prospering through our waters.
Making the blue economy a mainstream conversation to eliminate sea blindness, education and capacity building, equipping individuals and organizations with the skills needed to thrive in ocean-driven industries, advocacy and policy support, engaging policymakers, regulators, and industry leaders to shape supportive policies for sustainable maritime development. Footage, high-level meetings, industry conferences, and speeches. Investment and enterprise development, connecting entrepreneurs, financiers, and investors to unlock economic potential within Nigeria's blue sector.
I'm Martina Perry New Beach from Nigerian Shippers Council South Zone Coordinating Office. The retreat so far has been so eye-opening, and especially today's topic from the Mr. S.N. Ubong, eloquent speaking, has been so eye-opening. It has impacted us positively and have given us a guide on how to go about being an emperor and a lot more. We appreciate it so much and we wish to have more of this kind of sort of training. Thank you.
Madam dear Susan Shahoma, and the training was very insightful, very engaging. I learned a lot in terms of the importance of actually shifting my mindset from doing things the regular way to actually thinking outside the box. It was a very interesting class for me, and I would say my biggest take home is the fact that we can actually do things differently. Even though we might have been used to doing things the conventional way, we can actually make a decision to do things in a different way and still get better results. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Ogugbemi Idowu Samuel. A big thanks to the facilitator who has impacted knowledge. We've been encouraged to set a timely goal to drive the council's image and also to shape the public opinion by setting a strong agenda for the public. We have also been encouraged to invest in improving some of our skills, which has to do with speaking skills, writing skills, and also to ensure we improve on our capacity to timely delivery of public relations services. And according to him, he said it is time we look at the opportunity in harnessing the greatness in the strategy of public relations, that is relying on some platforms to drive the council's goal and to also ensure we sustain mutual understanding with the public. And there are some means and strategies to do that, which has been highlighted. And trust me, as a result of this great discussion, we'll take it and we'll implement it so that at the end of the day, we achieve a strong goal, a strong image with the public, and also improve on the council's reputation. Thank you.
My name is Zainab Mamman Blakos, Public Relations Officer, Kaduna Port Office. I enjoyed today's lectures. It was very interactive. Personally, my take home is the dynamic shift, how we think from not the normal thinking we always think every day, thinking of something new, what we use to sustain the image of the council and how to that sustainability of the image. And also what I also took was what if, the question of what if, always sitting down to think what will happen. Thank you.
So we are here today on the first day of a 5-day course on port security, and more in particular on the training of port security officers that the European Union is funding through the project Scope Africa. Well, we are one of many projects that the European Union is funding in the Gulf of Guinea. And we are taking care of ports, and within ports we are focusing on safety and security topics. And we are in Nigeria working with the National Ports Authority and with NIMASA, who are both participating in this training session. Well, the purpose is that international standards and norms, amongst others in port security, are to be strengthened. And this training session will strengthen the way of working and the best practices in the field of related to port security. And that's why we are assisting NPA and NIMASA with this training session, which is part of a longer cycle of capacity building topics that we will develop together with NPA and NIMASA in the next couple of years. ISPS is an obligation for any country, working with the International Maritime Organization and with ports and with port facilities. So the outcome of this training will be a more comprehensive approach and a better understanding of today's security issues in ports and terminals.
The European Union have a specific project geared towards aiding West and Central African countries to improve on their port security through the ISPS framework. And over the years, they have done some evaluations to determine the level of implementation of ISPS around the ports in West Africa and Central Africa. And following those evaluations, they have identified the need to support African countries with training in order to be able to improve the level of implementation. And this is one of the many trainings they have been organizing in the past. BRICS is privileged to be chosen as one of the facilitator for this specific training, which is training 25 port facility security officers. So the ISPS is a security framework for port facilities and ships. Reason being that the ships are the vehicles that interface with the port facilities, and it is concerned with making sure that shipping globally is secured to prevent terrorists from taking advantage of shipping to perpetuate terrorist activities. And so everyone working in the ports, not just the port authorities themselves, be it customs, immigration, NDLEA, port health, every agent, shipping companies, everyone that work around the ports to some extent. The IMO model courses have made provisions for training for people that will work within the port facility. There are people with specific duties, there are specific responsibilities that have been identified, such as the ship security officer and the port facility security officer. They have their training. But it's expected that for them to be able to implement these measures, that people are aware, people that work in the port facilities are aware. And so there is another course called Port Facility Security Awareness, as well as the Ship Security Awareness course programs, which I encourage everyone working in the port, all agencies of government that have one or two things to do in the port to ensure that their officers undergo this training before deploying them to the port for their various duties.
So this is my first time having this training as a port security officer, this port security facility officers training, and I'll tell you that we appreciate it so much, because it's been very difficult getting this training done by the organization, as so many requests have been made, as bottlenecks in the maritime sector and in the maritime agencies go like, and yeah, it's a good one. And what I've benefited from this training, for instance, is that it's well packaged, and it covers all aspects of the ISPS code, starting with all the relevant sections of maritime security in the maritime industry. So it's important that this training is done, as we've been able to learn so much already about the ISPS code and how to become a port facility security officer.
Yeah. So we're able to do the needful to make sure that Nigeria is a beneficiary, and that is why today the program is being kicked off with the training sections in collaboration with NPA and NIMASA. Today's phase of the training program is solely about the ISPS code within the port environment. But beyond that, the program is running for 4 years. We started in 2025, which is the inaugural phase and all of that. So now for the till the end of the program, there are other trainings that will obviously come up to build capacity of the white-collar staff of the port. It's no financial cost to Nigerian government, at no financial cost to MPA or NIMASA. So why not, if we can have it? Yeah, it's adding to our port staff capacity on the job. So why not have it if we can have it? So like the other phase of the project will be taking care of the firefighters and the rest of it. So various segments of the port. So if we can have it for free and somebody is paying for it, it's okay, we have it. That's my opinion.
I'm Martina New Beach from Nigerian Shippers Council South Zone Coordinating Office. The retreat so far has been so eye-opening, and especially today's topic from the Mr. SN Ubong, eloquent speaking, has been so eye-opening. It has impacted us positively and have given us a guide on how to go about being an emperor and a lot more. We appreciate it so much, and we wish to have more of this kind of sort of training. Thank you.
Madam dear Susan Shahoma, and the training was very insightful, very engaging. I learned a lot in terms of the importance of actually shifting my mindset from doing things the regular way to actually thinking outside the box. It was a very interesting class for me, and I would say my biggest take home is the fact that we can actually do things differently. Even though we might have been used to doing things the conventional way, we can actually make a decision to do things in a different way and still get better results. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Ogugbemi Idowu Samuel. A big thanks to the facilitator who has impacted knowledge. We've been encouraged to set a timely goal to drive the council's image and also to shape the public opinion by setting a strong agenda for the public. We have also been encouraged to invest in improving some of our skills, which has to do with speaking skills, writing skills, and also to ensure we improve on our capacity to timely delivery of public relations services. And according to him, he said it is time we look at the opportunity in harnessing the greatness in the strategy of public relations, that is relying on some platforms to drive the council's goal and to also ensure we sustain mutual understanding with the public. And there are some means and strategies to do that, which has been highlighted. And trust me, as a result of this great discussion, we'll take it and we'll implement it so that at the end of the day, we achieve a strong goal, a strong image with the public, and also improve on the council's reputation. Thank you.
My name is Zainab Momon Blakos, Public Relations Officer, Kaduna Port Office. I enjoyed today's lectures. It was very interactive. Personally, my take home is the dynamic shift, how we think from not the normal thinking we always think every day, thinking of something new, what we use to sustain the image of the council, and how to that sustainability of the image. And also what I also took was what if, the question of what if, always sitting down to think, what will happen? Thank you.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Darren Phillips, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on LSDPC matters.
So we all know that public speaking is also tough. It's not just about speaking, it's also about handling tough situations. So I want to ask, why do you think people fear public speaking?
Well, with what I've learned, public speaking, the issues most people encounter is the fact that they are thinking of how they look. They're thinking of what they're saying. They're thinking of themselves in that situation. But once you step out of that mindset and start thinking of what the people are going to benefit from that conversation. The knowledge you're going to spread, the information you're going to give them, once you make that shift happen, it completely dissolves that fear, because then it's not about you and you're just focused on passing that message across and getting people to understand what you're saying.
That was really beautiful. So I want to also ask, with the way digital economy is evolving, how do you think public speaking plays a role in the success of businesses in this digital era?
I mean, in this digital era, especially the era of social media, everybody's concerned. Everybody's essentially a public speaker, because with your phone, you can talk to the world. That access has never happened anywhere in the world. But this time period, you have the voice, you have the platform to be able to talk to the world, which is the reason why most people should, not only learn public speaking, but communication. It's such an important and useful skill that you just have to engage in, you have to perfect, you have to constantly practice to get ahead in this digital world.
Okay, thank you so very much, and thank you for your time. Have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you so much.
Good day, sir.
Good day.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Darren Phillips, Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on LSDPC matters.
So we all know that public speaking is also tough. It's not just about speaking, it's also about handling tough situations. So I want to ask, why do you think people fear public speaking?
Well, with what I've learned, public speaking, the issues most people encounter is the fact that they are thinking of how they look. They're thinking of what they're saying. They're thinking of, themselves in that situation. But once you step out of that mindset and start thinking of what the people are going to benefit from that conversation, the knowledge you're going to spread, the information you're going to give them, once you make that shift happen, it completely dissolves that fear, because then it's not about you and you're just focused on passing that message across and getting people to understand what you're saying.
That was really beautiful. So I want to also ask, with the way digital economy is evolving, how do you think public speaking plays a role in the success of businesses in this digital era?
I mean, in this digital era, especially the era of social media, everybody's concerned. Everybody's essentially a public speaker, because with your phone, you can talk to the world. That access has never happened anywhere in the world. But this time period, you have the voice, you have the platform to be able to talk to the world, which is the reason why most people should, not only learn public speaking, but communication. It's such an important and useful skill that you just have to engage in, you have to perfect, you have to constantly practice to get ahead in this digital world.
Okay, thank you so very much, and thank you for your time. Have a lovely day ahead.
Thank you so much.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing okay. You look good, by the way, and congrats on your induction, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, can we know you, please?
Okay, my name is Dr. Lara Tegbero.
Okay. What do you do?
I'm into real estate. I own a real estate company here in VI. We're into real estate agency, management, development, and all.
Okay, so I want to ask you how public speaking has played a role in you pitching to clients or trying to pitch for a position or something in the real estate industry.
Oh, well, public speaking is, it's part of our daily activities, because for you to market whatever product you have to speak with people, and you have to speak with them in a way they will understand to be ready to deal. Otherwise, it might be a put-off if you can't convey your information politely and accurately. So public speaking is part of our business.
Okay, so do you have any special skill that you use to grasp the attention of audience or clients?
Talk of that, well, that would be about the way I manage my clients in terms of the disposition. You give them this aura that will make them welcome to you, and they will be ready to do business with you, which is what I think I have.
Thank you very much.
I endeared my clients to me.
I see that already.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time, sir. Have a lovely day.
You're welcome. Thanks. You too. Bye.
Good day, sir.
Good day. Nice to meet you.
Hey, my name is Comfort.
My name is Kenny Wankwa. I'm a real estate agent, broker, and I'm also the Young Professionals Council president of FIAPSHI.
That's really nice. So I want to ask how public speaking plays a role in building trust and credibility in the real estate industry, as you have to market land, apartments, and properties. How do you build trust and credibility with public speaking?
Okay, I would say that public speaking is, I think, one of the best skills you can have. You can be underqualified, and if you speak well, people will in their mind, they'll qualify you higher. So I think it plays a role from the standpoint of communicating accurately, clearly, succinctly, makes people trust you more. It makes you sound more like you know what you're talking about, and people prefer to deal with people especially in this environment where there's like a huge trust deficit, especially in this country. When you speak well and you communicate the information and relay the information accurately and clearly and efficiently, it definitely buys you a great deal of trust. People are more likely to take you on your word more when you speak well. It helps you convey your message. If there's a value proposition that isn't obvious, being a well-spoken person and understanding public speaking can help you relay that in a way. And then also from the standpoint of diversity, being able to speak the various dialects people speak. Like I know, for example, I've had many situations where I'm dealing with like a local chief who is like, on Manilas and stuff and trying to broker some kind of deal, and that your eloquent university speak doesn't work there. Then you go to that guy and you speak the language that he speaks, which is its own form of public speaking. Like in Nigerian politics, you want to do a town hall in your local government. You're probably not going to do it in university English. So definitely that skill is huge in buying trust and, like credibility and cachet with people.
Really wonderful. Thank you very much for your time and have a lovely day ahead.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Good day, sir.
Good day, good afternoon, you're welcome.
Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Eseto Abdegani Jimo, a member of the FIAPSHI family. I'm into real estate, though practice in the northern part of Nigeria, that is precisely Abuja, Kaduna, and Kano, respectively. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I want to ask you how public speaking has helped you when speaking in public and how you handle tough questions or objections during public speaking.
Public speaking, I think, though I would say as the public relation officer, that's the PRO, Kaduna State branch of the Nigerian Institute of Survey and Valuers, I would say I speak more in the public, and that has kind of like built my confidence when communicating with people, seeking people's opinion and making your own opinions, getting across your own opinion to others as well. And speaking in public, I think it goes a long way. Apart from the talent, it also has to do with training. It also has to do with learning and other skills involved.
Okay. So I want to also ask, do you think public speaking is inbuilt, or you can actually learn it, or it is like natural, like a talent?
Yes. Number one, there are those with that talent, so we can say it's inbuilt. However, apart from the inbuilt talent, I can categorically say it has to do with learning also. Because for you to be able to speak in public, you need to first of all identify the kind of public you want to discuss with and the kind of event you want to speak, you want to kind of go into. Is it a formal event? Is it a semi-formal event or an informal event? Because that will guide you in the way of communication, in the way of processing your ideas to the people on, so let me say to the attendees, those who are present at such events. So it also has to do with learning also and training for you to be able to kind of communicate with people effectively.
Thank you so very much for your time. Have a lovely day.
Thank you. And I can say I want to use the opportunity also to thank the CEO of Achievement Channel. And why I said it is that today it's because I also speak in public also. It kind of like give me another dimension to mode of speakings, because first of all, apart from we all understand that you need to kind of like introduce your theme, you need to introduce your topic, it's also give me another perspective which has to do with involvement, which has to do with engagement, because without the engagement, even speaking in public has a long way to go. Yes, because seriously today, this afternoon, I've also learned some things. Because I have to take my pen and pick my pad to take one or two things down, because it gave me an idea that when trying to introduce your topic, apart from the fact that you need to read your audience, it also has to do with bringing facts from the background of what your topic is, and try to use that background to base what's your topic inside, which has to do with training. Yes, it has to do with training, and that's very good. At least I've learned one or two things from him. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Good day, sir. Can I know you, please?
Well, my name is Estate Surveyor and Valuer Honorable Ayodeji Ejalonibo Amodu. I'm currently the Senior Special Assistant to Mr. Governor, Mr. Celebu, Mr. Infrastructure, Mr. Housing, where I am, of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the Executive Governor of Lagos State.
Okay, that's really nice. So I just want to ask you a question. So as a leader in the real estate industry, I want to ask how public speaking has influenced your success in the real estate industry.
Well, thank you very much. To say the fact, I love public speaking because I had a stint with public speaking, because at some point I had a degree in public relations and advertising. And if you actually study public relations, that was at a postgraduate level at Nigerian Institute of Journalism. That back then, about 2000, about 25 years ago, in public relations, it's a course you actually take, public speaking, and public speaking helps you to actually express yourself. It gives you some sense of expression.
Yeah, Chief Dr. Sita Chukwu is my name, the National Coordinator of Save Nigeria Freight Forwarders, Importers and Exporters Coalition, and at the same time the Chairman, International Freight Forwarders Association.
Okay, so as a stakeholder in the maritime industry, how do you think the 24-hour operation policy would sustain the economy, and do you believe it will work effectively and efficiently in Nigeria?
It works in many other countries. I don't know why it cannot work in Nigeria. What only that can make it to work in Nigeria is having what we call efficient security, one, and efficient economic driven, technical economic driven, and two, sincerity and transparency in the system. So because one thing that you could understand in Nigeria is that not that we are not professionally being brought up to do this work, not that we don't have the sense to do the work, but the problem we have, I don't know where it's coming from. Nigeria has been a place that one thing is being discussed every year, is never getting well.
My name is Dr. Jennifer Chukwumeke. I'm the Secretary Custom Consultative Committee, CCC, and Head of Research, Sea Empowerment Research Center. So
in regards to the 24-hour port operation, how do you think this will impact the economy and also sustain the community close to the port areas?
24 hours port operation, to say the other way around, activities within the port and outside the port and port community will be on. No sleeping, no dull moment. That's the simple way to put it. So we are saying, is it a norm, a practicable norm outside the globe? The answer is yes. So if other ports of the world are traveling 24/7, non-stop, why must Nigerian ports sleep after 6 o'clock in the evening? That's not ideal. So in as much as the terminal operators are receiving cargo, discharging cargo from vessels, and at the same time, stacking them, at the same time loading for vessels to go out, nothing stops the freight forwarders from coming on to take their cargo at any given time. So government have to make a serious pronouncement and follow it with action, implementation plan. Government must say this is an economic regulator, an ombudsman that will raise the red card or yellow card to a reporting person. Shipping line must open up itself totally to automation so that we can leverage on them. Bank will not go sleeping, right? Custom gates are open and their system should be functioning 24/7.
Assistant Controller of Customs, Oyo Oladipo, in Nigerian Customs Service.
Okay, so what role do you think the custom plays in implementing the 24-hour port operation service?
Customs plays a pivotal role and a major role in 24 hours clearance, because definitely you know that anything that comes into the country must come through our borders, and of course when they come through our borders we have to do our proper security check, and part of our core function is making sure that there's revenue generation and substandard goods are not coming into the country, and as well to tackle smuggling activities.
I'm Captain Sunday Omoren, the Secretary General of the Memorandum of Understanding on Port State Control for West and Central African Region, popularly called the Abuja MOU.
So I wanted to ask what you think should be the role of stakeholders and policymakers in implementing the 24-hour port operation.
Okay, as I highlighted in my presentation, the starting point is for the policymakers, which is the government, to have that law in place that yes, you can conduct your operation within in a 24 hours cycle. So for you to actually start, you must have the backing of the law. So once you have that done, the next thing is to have the maritime. We have what we actually call the maritime cluster. The maritime is not an isolated profession to which you have one group, like probably customs, standing there saying, I'm the boss. Absolutely not. It is called a maritime cluster because it's a collective company of people that work together for it to be successful. Yes, if everybody is ready for 24 hours operation and custom is not ready, it will not work. If everybody is ready, the pilots are not ready, it will not work. So everybody must come to that agreement. Recall I said something about capacity building. So staff must be trained in readiness for that operation for it to be successful. There could be an emergency at night. So the hospital people, the emergency team must also be on ground. So all the stakeholders just have to work. You know what we normally will say, all hands on deck, is actually what you need for the 24 hours operation to be successful.
My name is Daniel Dibe. I'm the Deputy Chief Operating Officer for Lekki Deep Sea Port.
Okay, so I want to ask what you think is the benefit of the implementation of the 24-hour port operation in the Lekki Deep Sea Port services and operations.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's very important. Basically, everything around the port is about time, right? The measurement of port's performance is around how fast you transact, how fast you service. You know, so having the full complements of the total number of hours in a day, it's important, right? And again, you know, for the shipping lines, they have to make their schedule. So they have to be operated 24 hours of the day. alongside cargo clearance, availability of this cargo to the importer. They have to be able to get their cargo within the hours of the day. So restricting any form of port operations to less than 24 hours, creates inefficiency, congestion, and makes it more expensive to move cargo. Yeah.
My name is Mark Walsh. I'm the Executive Director of Operations of E&L Consortium, APAPA.
Okay, so I wanted to ask the benefits of the private sector, like a terminal operation like the E&L, in achieving the 24-hour port operation.
Okay, for us, it's very beneficial to us and our customers to be able to work 24 hours a day. It's in a situation that we've achieved over the years, but at the moment now we are working 24/7. Our customers are able to take delivery, and we discharge the vessels in the port.
Okay, so are there any challenges so far, and what do you think could be the preferred solution?
Well, the challenges is that the basic infrastructures, roads,